Very short intro song there. Kay, welcome to another WrestleCast episode.
Yeah. Fucking not a lot to talk about, is there?
There's a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about it for sure. It's episode 91, Osaka Dream Wrestle Princess. So if that's
what you talking about? Not a lot to talk about. No wrestling happened.
No, lots of wrestling happened. It's just in the men's promotions, it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, really, it's kind of nuts. Just companies that aren't doing anything legitimately.
Yeah, it's very strange. But I have had a lot happen to me in the last 18 hours.
Ooh. JD's 18 hours of horror or 18 hours of pleasure? Which one?
It was definitely despair in my life that had happened.
Despair.
Yeah, so a lot of you know that I do competitive bowling on Wednesday nights, competitive leagues, and I did fine. Not one of my better nights, but fine nonetheless. And it runs late on Wednesdays, like sometimes 10, 11 o'clock, depending. I didn't get out until 11, and the team had already left. Okay? All said our goodbyes. I had to keep going to the later round, and I go out to my car when it's all over. It's JD story time. And, oh boy, car doesn't start. Hit the button, car doesn't turn over. I'm like, what is going on? I was like, that's not good. Just out of nowhere. No indication that the car was, I've kept it up pretty well over the years. It's a Volkswagen GTI. It's a nice little sports car. I like it. You like it. I know you like it.
I was in it once, yes.
Yeah, you were in it one time. And I just got new tires on that sucker, spent over $600. This fucking car won't start. And it gives me the loudest, most terrifying, just beeping you've ever heard. And like basically the computer system just went, nope, not today. The airbag says it's deployed. The automatic braking system is broken according to this computer now. And
holy shit.
Oh yeah. And I'm like, these are not warnings that are any good. And then just to top it all off, it's like, you can't start the car unless your car's in park. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm in park. Oh, and you got to hit the brake. I am hitting the brake. And then the wheel does the whole lockup, mechanism. I'm like, what is going on?
Exactly what that is. It's exactly what that is.
I'm like, what is happening? So I'm trying to call, some friends, and it's late. No one's picking up. Everyone's gone. So I'm like, all right, I guess I got to get an Uber home. So call the Uber. I wait like 15 minutes. It's fucking getting to the middle of the night. The car gets there, and he goes, oh, do you have a mask? I go, no, I'm vaccinated. Oh. And then he just drives away. I'm like, what just happened?
I can't blame him for that one, technically. I mean, you can always say you're vaccinated, but how many people have said they're vaccinated and not vaccinated?
I mean, I could have showed him the card. I have it with me. But anyways,
you probably should have said that. Said, I'm vaccinated. I have my card if you need it.
I did say I had my card.
Oh, well, I guess this is where your card.
Yeah,
man.
he just had no interest in picking this passenger up at 11 o'clock ish at night, and the Lyft app was down. So I went, fuck. Now I gotta walk home, and it's like 5 miles.
Oh shit, that's a walk.
So I don't get home until like 1:30 in the morning. I'm exhausted. I'm like, I'll figure this out in the morning. I'll get a tow. I'll take it to a shop or whatever. And I'll wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, on my way home, my stomach turns over. Turns out the pork loin that I had was no good.
Uh-oh. Did you have yourself some Minami pasta?
Yeah, it felt like my intestines were on fire. I am holding it in so I don't shit my pants. It is full-blown food poisoning. I know what that feels like. So now I'm up for the rest of the night, just hugging the toilet. I'm having a bad time. And so I wake up for 7. The cat makes sure I wake up at 5, so I feed him. So, yeah, good for you, kitty cat, getting your food. So first thing in the morning, I call the mechanic place that I trust. They treated me very well with the tires and some other issues that's come up over the last couple of years. And they go, okay, no problem. We got our affiliate towing company. We could just give him a call. I got a backup just in case. You'll hear back from us. I'm like, all right, great. 2 hours go by. I'm missing work, by the way, if that's not clear.
I hope you lose call at your job and let them know. Say, hey, guys, I'm a bit fucked at the moment.
No, I sent both my... I sent 2 of my 4 bosses a text saying, hey, I got car trouble. This is bad. I'm probably not coming in. So 2 hours goes by, and I call him back. Hey, did you forget about me? And he's like, oh, yeah, I just haven't gotten a hold of the first guy. But the second guy said he'd call me back to let me know. And another hour goes by. So now it's like 10 o'clock. Like, fuck, what's going on here? And he goes, all right, couldn't get a hold of him. One guy is booked solid for the next 2 days of towing. I was like, that's a lot of towing. That doesn't sound right.
I mean, maybe there's a lot of cars having some towing issues.
I don't know. Maybe everyone's car is just not turning over, and the computer says your automatic braking system's broken now. So, oh man, he goes, hey, I'm sorry, man. You're just gonna have to like call your own company or call AAA or something. And I was like, I guess I'm signing up for AAA. Should probably have had this a while ago, but got it now. And this is a fun story. Either way, I would have had to go back to the car, okay, to be there for the tow, because you need to prove that you are the owner, et cetera, et cetera. Have the key. I had the key with me. I didn't, like, leave it in the car overnight.
That'd have been dumb, but no one would have been to take your car anyways.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's like, shit. Well, maybe they would have taken my brand new tires. Put it on blocks in the middle of the bowling alley parking lot.
I mean, that would have been something to walk back to.
Yeah, and... I sign up for AAA. Of course, it costs like $75 to sign up for your, day one service and everything. I ask for a tow or whatever, and they go, okay, he's going to be there between 12:30 and 2 o'clock. I'm like, okay.
Big time frame there.
That's a big time frame. I guess I'm going to be... The bowling alley doesn't open till 4, by the way. 4 in the afternoon. I'm like, shit. And there's... not really anything close by that I could just kind of walk across the street to and wait for the call. It's like, hey, I'm here. So I'm like, all right, well, I got my bike. I did some repairs on it in the meantime. And by that, I mean I took it off the exercise bike setup I got, made sure the tires weren't flat or anything. It's like, all right, we're in business. So all right, I leave. I get there at like... 12:15, but on the way, I'm having a good little car ride or bike ride. It's like, I'm gonna make a fun day of this, get some exercise. It'll be good. It'll be a good time. I get like a mile away from the bowling alley, and I hit a rock, and the back tire explodes.
Jesus, not your day, is it?
Like, I just hear it, and it's just, I can't even get mad anymore. I'm just head down. I'm all distraught. Life is terrible. Everything is going wrong. It's all despair. I walk the last mile with the bike. I throw it in the trunk and I get there, and I'm just sweating buckets at this point now. Because there's a lot of like big uphills along the way as well. So I'm very tired. Luckily, I've been bowling at this place long enough. The owner and the manager say, hey, why don't you come in, wait for AAA, because I had to tell them, hey, I'm leaving my car overnight. We'll get you some water. I'm like so dehydrated. I'm like sweating, not just from the workout, but also because I'm just ungodly dehydrated and miserable. I have a headache. So I'm waiting. I put my head down. I put the phone on the highest volume, and I don't quite pass out. It's like in between. But I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to chill. I got podcast going in one ear, and I get a text at 1:30 saying, oh, AAA got there half an hour ago, and then he left.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, what are you talking about he got there? I got no notification. I got no phone call. No nothing. He just didn't show. What an asshole, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Jesus Christ. Who'd you piss off?
I don't know. I must have pooped in Tony Khan's shoes or something. So I recall AAA, place another one, and of course they say, oh, this is 1:30, by the way. Oh, okay, he's going to be there between 2 and 3:30. I'm like, fuck! Just call the same
Jesus.
fucking guy and tell him to turn his ass around or show up this time. So new guy comes, and he gets there at like 2:15. And as it turns out, the battery in the car just completely died, which is weird because we tried jumping it last night to try it, and that didn't work. Well, he's got like this supercharging battery. Okay. And he goes, yeah, how old's your car? And I was like, it's 6 years old now. He goes, yeah, your battery is absolutely toast. He put every device to make sure, like, how much juice it has. It just totally broke. And apparently in Volkswagens, because the onboard computer and many modern cars these days are so complicated that if the battery dies, the entire computer system in your car just goes, no, I don't want to work anymore. This is confusing. So you have to take it to a shop, or as this guy with AAA had, he can at least bypass it temporarily. So the car will start and you have your battery. So it's a twofer with these Volkswagen cars.
Right.
So get the car started. I don't need a tow anymore. I still had to pay a $75 fee for AAA, but hey, I guess that's the service fee at this point. And he goes, all right, you got two choices. You can go to AutoZone, get a new battery, install it yourself, or whatever. Or you could buy one from us, and then it's under our warranty. It's our problem. I go, well, I already signed up with you guys. How much is it going to cost? He gives me the thing, and because I'm a new member, I get a little discount. So it costs like retail price, the battery. And he even goes, we'll even show up to your place within the next hour, and we'll install it, and it'll cost you, the money, and you're good. I go, and you
didn't show up, did they?
Well, so flat tire, I'm food poisoned, car won't start, AAA fucking doesn't show up the first time. So we get it all set up. We get another appointment. I get home, and I get a call from AAA. They went back. It's a new driver, and he's back at the bowling alley.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck is with this shit, man?
I'm like, it's like 4 PM now at this point. I'm just going, God. It's like your driver went to the wrong location. So he comes, he shows up like half an hour later. I'm watching Squid Game. I'm trying to finish the show, and he shows up. He inputs he does the new battery. He has this little portable car computer that can reset my system. So the lights in my car are all over the place because I have this good ambient. I have a good lighting package in my car. I went fancy with it. So it's like blue lights here, red lights there. It's all wacky now. Like nothing's just the solid red that I had. And the car's fixed. I can go to work tomorrow. But holy hell, what a bad day.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've had my car battery die. So my car is a bit older than yours. But it's a push to start. So when the battery dies, nothing goes. It doesn't happen. Can't do shit. I had to I think at one point I had to charge my battery with a portable charger as I was trying to make my way to work. Because I couldn't take the day off, so I had to in the middle of the stoplight, because whenever my car would stop, it would just cut off.
Oh, great.
So I had to keep it in motion, otherwise it cuts off. So I had to sit at a stoplight and then charge it up, get back in the car, and drive off. It was not a fun time.
Yeah, I asked the dude. I'm like, because I had some weird battery experiences when I was living in Michigan with my Jeep, and the battery. You'd get a struggling car to start. That was like a sign, or you left a light on, and the battery just doesn't budge. No, nothing.
Right.
Oh, my car was budging, but the whole onboard computer system was telling me everything's broken.
Yeah,
so the guy just goes, this is modern batteries. They don't have any indication. Just one day they'll die. And he, in fact, told me a story. He goes, oh yeah, I got a new car, and in 3 years I just went grocery shopping, came out, and the car wouldn't start.
Yeah, so because my car is a 2012, I have a 2012 Nissan Altima. The girlfriend has a more modern-ish car. Hers is a 2016. My car is completely, it's like yours, onboard computer, all the fancy wires and all that other shit. But those batteries, when they just die out of nowhere, they give no indication. You'll never know. You can start your car up normally, and once you turn it off, it'll never turn back on again. It's the weirdest
that's what
thing.
happened. That's what happened, plus more. And it led to walking 5 miles. It led to now I need a new bike tire.
Right.
I'm very dehydrated, very low energy, but hopefully I can keep it up for the podcast. I did watch a bunch of Squid Game. I did.
Yeah, it's a good show. I liked it.
I have one episode left. I've seen a couple anime that are the exact same premise. People are in debt.
Well, of course.
Yeah, I think one's like the Gambler Kaiji or something. That one's not great.
Or Gantz.
Gantz is another one. Yeah.
This is pretty bad though.
Yeah, they're usually not great. Squid Game. I think my one issue was if I didn't, it's like all these people are going through some sort of redemption with their characters because they're all super flawed and super hateable.
Yeah, I think everyone
except the girl,
maybe the main guy. The main guy is kind of the only one that the girl too. You could kind of get her whole thing be from like North Korea and stuff like that, but she's like the only one that's not overtly like, oh yeah, fuck this person. Like even the main character, as much as he doesn't do anything wrong to anybody throughout the game, he's still a shitty dad.
Oh yeah, he's still a shitty parent, a degenerate gambler, steals money from his like diabetes mom.
He's not a person.
He's not great. No, so I'm like, I don't really feel too bad for this guy. But the premise is really cool. The kids' games, games to the death, rich people behind it all, which you know that's like why this is all happening.
Yeah, it was almost like right off the bat, like who's funding this? Oh yeah, probably a bunch of rich people.
A bunch of rich people gambling on your lives, and again, that's like the exact same. I mean, shit. There's a whole like tournament Yu Yu Hakusho at the beginning that has that.
Correct. I mean, listen, it's a killing game sort of deal, battle royale-esque. I mean, I think the worst outside of Gantz, like the worst version of that I've seen is Future Diary.
Oh yeah.
Future Diary is pretty bad.
So, it's weird though. I don't have too many complaints about the show other than the flawed main character. I don't really feel too bad for him, but the show was definitely really good at building relationships in the show in such a short period of time. And the whole reason why people like went back in the first place because they voted out and came back. The story of the old man with the brain tumor is really cool. How that all happened, and that's another like sequence of events where the main character is like, bro, like you're taking advantage of this guy with dementia, and then you just go, yeah, if I was in the same position, I might have done the same thing.
Yeah, I couldn't feel bad either. I was like, life on the line. Can't say I wouldn't have done the same thing.
You feel really bad for the just super naive dude from Pakistan.
Oh yeah,
like you just see it like unfolding one after another. And you're like, bro, you don't see what he's doing. That was something that was
built up too. Like that was well done. Like building up the character that ended up doing what he did with him at the end. Like, dude, they built that really well. If you just kind of paid attention, kind of knew the guy was kind of skeevy, kind of shitty.
Oh yeah.
Kind of shady, a little
well,
sketch.
Again, you see it coming a mile away, but it's okay. But you want it to, like, you keep going. Oh, don't you actually do it? Don't. Oh, he did it. What a piece of shit. There were a couple games, and this is just me talking about the show rather than criticizing the show. Is if I'm gambling on these people's lives and they want it to be exciting and it's all about. The whole premise is fairness. Everyone's equal, okay? And for example, the game where they're on the bridge and there's the tempered and breaking glass. Yeah,
that was the one when you just started bringing up games. That's the first one that came to mind. I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, and I'm just going. None of that game is fair. It's all chance. And I've had there's the few anime I watch. They all always explain it the same way. Well. Everyone has the same chance, same opportunity to pick the number and get in. Like, that's all equal. It's like, yeah, but you don't really have any control over your fate in said game because so much of it is chance.
Not only that, but it's not even that fair because the person behind the other person that messed up now knows. And the person behind them now knows. So the person in front of you didn't have that chance of knowing already. So it wasn't actually even to begin with.
Yeah.
The person that goes first is always the one that's going to have the uneven chance out of everybody.
Yeah, it's just if I was making the game, I would have made that one in the first place. And then at least I won't spoil what happens after that. But yeah, there's
also a pretty good moment in it, though. That's kind of why I kind of forgive it a little bit. At least to a good spot of revenge moment that I liked.
Well, yeah. Boy, that other girl character who was just very loud, very obnoxious. I did not like her at all.
She's completely unlikable. Like, you're not supposed to like her. You're not supposed to actually not like her at all.
I get the point, but even throughout that, I'm just watching her and going, she has go away heat with me. Like I never even wanted her on the screen again. Like the sooner the better. She was gone.
Oh, yeah, her and the gangster guy, the Yakuza gangster guy.
I mean, I get why they went in that direction. I figured they would do something more with those two.
Oh no, I figured that's exactly where it was heading. The minute that she said she'd kill him, I was like, oh, yeah, they're going there. It's gonna be how it ends. I was like, that's how the outcome's gonna go. And they're probably both gonna die. It just kind of makes sense. It was super on the nose, and that was kind of why I was a little more forgiving with parts of it. Right? I was like, yeah, this thing's not trying to go outside the box. It's trying to keep you within the same box that you know, right? It's not going to do anything outlandish or out of nowhere. Even the ending, the very, very end, is like, yeah, I saw that coming.
All right. Should we talk about some wrestling now?
Sure. Let's do that.
Right. Yeah, we got recommended matches, got some despair. I haven't done a despair section in a while. AEW, just a few thoughts. And quick thoughts over New Japan Dragongate DDT, and then the crux of it's going to be Stardom and TJPW.
Discussions over those.
Yeah. So 22 minutes into the podcast. Let's talk about some fucking wrestling. Let me play some random drop. What are you feeling, Kay?
Despair has to be. Well, you don't have Hulk Hogan, do you? Because that's the ultimate despair.
Oh boy.
WO, bow.
You know what? Just for recommended matches, I'll play Io Shirai's music from Stardom. That's what I'll do. God, that song bangs. Love that
yeah,
one.
it's an oldie but a goodie. It's like a song that it's like awesome, and I've heard her Fed song. It's not as good as that. It's not as good as that. It's good. It's not as good as that though.
I don't know. It's two different personalities. I like them both. I do, but
I guess.
Boy,
I mean, it's better than Io's very first song in Stardom. Her very first song was not doesn't fit her at all.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Io Shirai. She went on that big NXT title run. She has the tag titles. Now there's this NXT 2.0 nonsense, and they just have no interest in using her. And she wasn't called up in the draft. Is she going to make some appearance on a show and do what? Lose to Charlotte?
No, but the Low Shrubs is not 2.0 apparently.
No, she's not. Well, I mean, fucking 4 years in developmental. Like Io Shirai.
Oh yeah, developmental Io Shirai. They taught her how to wrestle.
Yeah, they shoved Tony Storm down there.
How to wrestle.
They shoved Tony Storm down there, and then they brought her up and had her lose to Zelina Vega in like a minute.
God, we watched that match. It was a giftable match. It was so short you could have just gifted the entire match.
It's just here's some moves. Tony Storm does some basics, and then Zelina hits a code red, and it's just we're done here, boys.
Very bad looking code red, mind you.
Yeah. All right. Recommended matches from outside promotions. I watched some Noah, Kay.
Oh no! Did you watch the Old Folks Home?
Yeah, I mean, I just have no interest in those matches from this promotion. I'm just very over kind of the last generation of New Japan guys that never drew. But they did have the end of the N1, or the mid one, was the joke online.
The mid one, yeah, that's more accurate.
Half the tournament was in an empty arena. Keiji Muto never lost, but they had him do like 2 or 3 30-minute draws or some stupid nonsense.
Oh, that sounds painful.
Oh yeah, it's like I'm not watching that. No way. And but I will say on the final night, on the finals at Korakuen Hall, mind you, no big arena for Noah for their N1 final.
I think that's the big Cyber Agent promotion right now, or Cyber Fight promotion. That's their big one.
Yep, they can draw like 500, 600 people. But anyways, Nakajima versus Kano was the finals, and I will give the Kano Kinomiya match from the semifinals a recommendation. It just kind of plays off their story between the two. It's just hard for me to get invested in when I know the two are just booked like nerds, kind of. Like Kinomiya is in Keiji Muto cosplay basically, and you know, Keno's personality is very unique. He's going to hang out in Dragongate for a little while. But yeah, the Kinomiya match was real fun. Lots of fire from it. That was good stuff. And then the Nakajima Kano finals match was good. I really liked it. I have it set at my number, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have it as my 6th miscellaneous top 10 match of the year. So, again, for those that don't know, we have our 7 promotions we cover, and then there's a miscellaneous table for best matches from those not 7, basically. And this made the list. It was basically... Do you remember the Taichi Ibushi match from the G1 where they just kicked each other over and over again?
Yeah, I fucking love that match.
Yeah, this one was like that, except they kicked each other's chests as hard as they could, over and over and over again.
Ooh, sounds like Sherry versus Momo in the 5-star final.
Yeah.
Let's kick the crap out of each other. Fuck you, kick you, fuck you, kick you.
Yeah, I definitely like the 5-star final match more. This one...
probably better, yeah.
Yeah, this one was very one note in that sense. Unlike the Taichi Ibushi match where, you know, it had damage shown over time. The guys would sell more because it affects their legs, etc. Never really got that from Nakajima Kano. It was just awesome to see dudes kick each other. The other thing it was missing for me to really take it over the edge was kind of like the Ibuki Tsukasa match where, you know, you had the whole moment of the shirt getting torn off to reveal more skin and, you know, something very unique. This one didn't really have anything unique. And then the finish just felt really... It's a very Noah finish where they like setting up things for kind of the guys just fall apart in one swoop moment. And that's what this was. They go to a slap exchange after all of this kicking, and Nakajima just slaps the piss out of Keno harder, and he falls, and then he just gets pinned. So Nakajima wins. Second straight N1 final, he's won. And as Noah does, they immediately, less than a week later, go to the championship match. So Nakajima versus Marufuji, you know, the guy that beat Keiji Muto because Keiji Muto wouldn't drop the belt to anybody worthwhile.
No, it's because he did the moonsault and messed up. He did it for the fans, remember?
Yeah, I don't care about that. So Marufuji is the definition of a transitional champion. He just did a bunch of media stuff in between. He wasn't even in the N1. Nakajima and Marufuji went 37 minutes. Good match again. Just a really lame run. I was not invested in Nakajima's journey. I thought they missed the boat on it last year because he won the N1 and Go Shiozaki was on the run of his life. He was finally over for the first time in like 12 years. And that of course led to Keiji Muto beating Go Shiozaki instead. They passed on Nakajima coming out of the big angle, betraying the group and tag team. So this one had a lot of Nakajima heel shtick in it, kind of stalling for time at the beginning, but it was all good. Turn that off. So yeah, Nakajima's champion. Good for him. Another case of a hair... So he lost a hair versus hair match earlier this year in a steel cage. But steel
cage?
Yeah, a steel cage with no fans, by the way. It was empty arena. The first ever in the promotion. I mean, the steel cage match was fine.
What's with Noah in New Japan and doing things for the first time ever, but hardcore things, like ladder matches and fucking cage matches?
Very wacky. And then not making any money off it either.
That was like a desperate attempt at grabbing headlines. That comes off at least.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Car is good. I have my backup plans. I had my backup plans to get to work tomorrow, but car is good. Send that message right quick.
Hopefully, car is still good tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope so. All right. That's Noah. I mean, Noah. I give Noah a lot of shit, and I'm not invested in the promotion anyway. I think it's definitely a case of too old. I do not want to watch over and over again the same guys just face each other over and over again. They desperately need young talent, and a lot of the young talent they just simply aren't pushing to the level that they probably should. But there is one thing Noah is always good for, and that's a 8-week stretch will it give you 2 to 4 match of the year candidate matches, and it's kind of what we got here. I wouldn't say Marufuji Nakajima.
Investing in.
No, I mean you just it's mid and undercard is worthless, and the semi-main event is always the old people like Sakuraba and Muto, and I mean I like Sugiura, but his time has kind of passed. But it's not like they got anyone else to push, and he can still go. He's like Mochizuki and Dragongate, but the difference is Dragongate isn't putting the title on Mochizuki in 2021.
No, they'd be dumb if they did that. But the way you described it reminds me of how we described Seedling last year, where they were good for like a couple months worth of title matches over a period of time. Yoshiko, and then things just went to shit when Yoshiko dropped the belt.
Yeah, it all kind of fell apart, went back to their old ways. Now, there was an awesome event from AAA. It's the Heroes Immortales show. It was shown on Twitch by a Cubs fan. He had it going. There was a 4.5-star tag team title match between the Lucha Bros against Laredo Kid and Vikingo. It was just like, if you want top level lucha action, this is absolutely for you. I think there was maybe one spot that went awry, and that was by Vikingo, just kind of slipping a little bit. But outside of that, it's just the most incredible acts of acrobatics you've ever seen. Penta in this match was phenomenal. He played the bass for the other 3 guys, whether he was helping out his brother Phoenix or taking the brunt of the damage and dishing it right back out to Laredo Kid and Vikingo. I could not recommend this match enough. There's no sense in like going move to move because it's Lucha Libre. It's awesome. You won't be disappointed. I threw this as my number 2 miscellaneous top 10 match of the year. That's how much I love this match. I loved it way more than Nakajima Kano from the N1 final.
Oh, flippy shit rules?
Flippy shit fucking rules. It was 16.5 minutes of just Cirque du Soleil meets wrestling. It was great. This is why you watch Lucha.
Killing the business. It's killing the business, man.
Nah, the crowd was going nuts. Okay.
Business is not dead, you're telling me.
Yeah, the business is not dead. All right, I gotta find the Despair drop. Haven't played this in a while. Where is it? I should have it called Despair.
Should.
Yeah.
Big bold letters, big caps letters.
Found it. Here it is. Okay.
Yeah?
I watched Impact's Wrestling's Knockouts Knockdown.
I kind of half watched it with you.
Because I like women's wrestling. Perhaps you do too.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm known for like a women's wrestling, mainly over men's wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, I also watched part of that GCW show where it was Moxley against Nick Gage for their little title. And
that's fun.
It's a fun,
fire.
It's
trash fire, but it's ECW.
It's GCW. It's deathmatch stuff. Their undercard is always just wacky. I always say this. GCW is just not my thing, but I recognize that it does so well because, to me, based on drawing statistics of their crowds in 2021, this company is the number 3 promotion in America. And it has no TV.
Right. I mean, you even put that? How could you even put that on TV? Really, it'd be the same product. Didn't ECW try something similar and then they like failed because of that?
Well, yes and no. That's kind of a deep dive of its own discussion. But what's like GCW, much like what AEW and Stardom is doing, is you're giving the fans what they want for the promotion that you're presenting. And because of that, GCW has created this just excellent main event scene. That's the one great thing about it. And then everything else is about going out, drinking, having a good time, getting raunchy, getting rowdy. And it shows for it because they're pumping, they're putting like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 fans in their shows each and every time. While you look at an Impact or MLW, I mean, ROH is drawing so little they can't even run shows to have fans.
Yeah, that's how you hit the bottom. That's how you hit despair.
Yeah. So I'll give GCW a lot of credit with that. Shane Mercer is just a fucking animal. Love that guy. The whole match is about...
That's not despair talk, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, yes. Impacts, knockouts, knockdown. Maybe I was killing some time there. I will praise the booking on the show. I thought it was booked pretty well. It had a little upset in the tournament. Tag title match was the main event. They probably should have pushed that harder because once the Knockdown finals happened, I thought the show was over.
So did you and everybody else.
Yeah, so it was a little foolish on there. They did a lot of representing Daphne, I guess, veteran that used to be in TNA and late WCW. She had a reputation, a good one among the wrestlers, so that was nice to see. Awesome Kong got inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame, which is well earned.
That's actually worth.
It's well earned, and it's like the only Hall of Fame that in America that has women in it. I mean, WWE's they just let anyone in, so hardly counts.
I mean, they got women in there. Sunny's in there. Do you know she did porn?
I did, Kay. I did. Thank you for the reminder. And the other thing I'll praise is the Mickie James Deonna Purrazzo build. There was a brawl on a farm in which Purrazzo waterboarded Mickie James in it, like in a slop bucket and shit. They're in jeans and white t-shirts and stuff. It was a fun little angle. I liked it. It's kind of a symptom to a bigger issue within Impact Wrestling is they're still running into this whole outside woman comes in, challenges for the title, then they get a big long run, what have you, and there's never what seems like an upward push in the promotion from someone that they have built up. I guess you can, if you want to argue Jordynne Grace with me, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but just like what they did with Tessa Blanchard was they come in, they make a splash, and then it's just them dominating until they get the title shot, and then they hold this title forever. And Deonna Purrazzo was the same way. It's very rinse and repeat formula. Meanwhile, you got people like Kiera Hogan, I will always point to. She was there for years and just never got that shot. They would rather bring back ODB for Purrazzo to beat.
Speaking of ODB, she was in their video package hyping up the legends of the company.
Yeah,
did you not notice that? She was prominent too. She was pretty prominent. She was prominent as Gail Kim and Awesome Kong were in that video package.
They can pretend.
Weird.
That's fine. So the tournament itself, I wouldn't say any match was really good to great. Everything was kind of in the middle. It's about what you expect from the skill level. I will say though, Masha Slamovich versus Purrazzo was easily the best on the night. I gave it I'll go 3.5 on it. That was probably easily the best match.
Yeah, Masha looks great.
Oh yeah, and supposedly she signed with Impact. That would be someone worth getting into for Impact. But they also signed the Inspiration, the former Iconics. Ugh.
I don't know who they are, but I keep hearing people either really like them or really hate them. I don't care. So,
I mean, they're a duo from Australia. They got a goofy little shtick, and they're bad in the ring. Oh my god, are they bad?
So they fit Impact. Gotcha.
Yeah, I just...
So they fit TNA. I'm sorry, not Impact. TNA. They fit TNA.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. Impact Knockouts division is just so overrated. Like, you never see a great match.
Rachel Ellering on their roster. I mean, that says enough. That she's one of their top talents, I guess, that they keep trying to push up as top talent. At least it seems like that's how they present her. Rachel Ellering is bad. She's bad. She's not good.
I did really like the amount of respect that they showed Mercedes Martinez. I mean, she's been trying to get to some sort of level her entire career. They pushed her as a legend. Maybe pump the brakes on that. She's never done anything legendary.
She's a legend, JD. She's a legend. She's been wrestling for 10 plus years. That means legend.
Yeah, I think it's like 17. But I really like Mercedes Martinez. But let's pump the brakes on the legend moniker there. I really liked the booking behind Tasha Steelz in the tournament. I think she still has a ways to go in ring, but she's definitely got the swagger and the presence down. She does do the kind of shocked face, sit there, go in the corner look. That's a Shawn Michaels thing. Hate it, always have. Cut that out. She beat Chelsea Green, the hot mess. So that was the upset I was talking about. That was good. But overall, the package of the wrestling on the show was just very subpar. And I get what Impact's doing. You just need to do a little better, putting certain things together and kind of pushing. Hopefully this Tasha Steelz thing amounts to something, but it sure doesn't seem like it's heading that direction.
No, but you seem a lot more positive for something that's supposed to be in despair.
Yeah, maybe I'm losing my touch.
Oh, I can bring your touch back. I got some despair to share of my own. Some recent despair.
Oh, what'd you watch?
I didn't watch anything, but it's news. They came out of a former company that we used to cover. The Seedling. Seedling.
Okay. All right.
It's Denai Takahashi taking time off because of her knees. Or I think until what? She said till December?
Yeah.
December, something
when
like that.
Mizunami comes back to lose the title to Arisa.
Funny. Yeah, funny how that works. And they will be running one show a month, so nothing changes there. But she will not be on any of the shows. And I made the joke as like, her knees finally caught up with her ego. They couldn't hold her ego anymore.
Oh boy,
she has to sit down and rest.
I mean, we've been talking about her knees. Like she didn't look like she came back at 100%. Yeah, she came back too early. She was. I chalked it up to her ego. She didn't need to come back when she did. Yoshiko was doing a good job holding the fort down. The fans were really into her. With fans, they were able to bring into the buildings at least. They had some generated heat, like a momentum with Yoshiko. But it was I can't sit here and let my protege take all the spotlight. I have to come back. That's what it was. It's her ego. She came back much too early, and now she's seeing why she shouldn't have come back so early. Her knees were fucked up, and she's older too. She already has a history of knee issues, so her coming back the way she did was dumb. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, now she's paying for it. I mean, listen, this company's not going to survive through next year. I'm willing to bet money on that.
It's tough to say. It's tough to say either way. It's a produce show at this point.
Wave is running more than them. Wave is running more shows a month than them. Wave is at least running 2 to 3 times a month. They're running once a month.
Yeah, because no one's buying their shows on pay-per-view.
No one's going to their shows.
No one's going to their shows. It's a once-a-month produce show. That's what it is now. That's the state of the seed of Ling.
I think they genuinely think Ryu Mizunami going over to AEW with the Seedling belt is going to amount to anything. But, I mean, we saw with TJPW, they're not going to bring a whole bunch of new people over to come watch them. And especially not Seedling, where a promotion they can hardly find.
Yeah, well.
It's a joke. I don't get the idea behind all that.
The stats are so insignificant to what an international knowledge of the existence will actually bring to people purchasing the product. And
I mean, no average wrestling fan over here that doesn't watch Joshi or is embedded in the Joshi scene, like fan base, knows what a Seedling is.
No,
they might know what a TJPW is now, maybe. They know what a Stardom is, maybe, but they don't know what the fuck a Seedling is.
I mean, that's the case for a lot of the promotions. So, all right, let me play Darby Allin, because, god damn it, I had a bad day, and Darby is really fitting my mood.
On emo.
Yeah, I'm going a little emo here. Okay, let's see. Where is it? There it is. Not a whole lot for discussion in AEW. I just have some thoughts I thought we could have fun with because of like in ring the last couple weeks. Kay,
Yeah.
AEW's done really well.
They have. They've been very consistent. Even the women have been fairly consistent. They haven't been the best part of the show, but they rarely ever are. So
yeah. So I wanted to get your take on Roads to the Top from last week.
so I watched episode 2 with you.
Yeah, I want your thoughts this time. Talk me through it.
My thoughts. Well, my first thoughts are, Brandy, no, you don't need to come back to wrestling. It's okay. You don't have to come back to wrestling. Just don't. Please don't.
Oh, it's going to be a big story for the rest of Roads to the Top. Come on.
I know.
She's going to be the first. She's going to be the first TBS champion.
God, wait to put the belt in the mud already. Jesus,
nah, come on,
Christ.
Brandy, she's coming in.
No, shut that shit down. Shut that shit down. You got a good insight in like some of the backstage stuff. I thought that was very interesting, seeing kind of Cody's day-to-day stuff. They did the whole weigh-in thing and how bad that was done. Cody even said that he was whispering to Mr. Big Show over there. He's like, just fucking work the weight. 315 or 215, whatever everybody said. It's 215.
He just wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't do it. He kept trying to do it. I was like, dude, just work the number. Stop trying. It was so bad.
And then people are forgetting their moments. Yeah, it was really funny.
It was, I mean, because we watched that thing real time, and we're just sitting there like, man, shit taking them a while, isn't it? This is being done shoot style. Why would you want to do this shoot style? Who does this shit shoot style?
Yeah, it was a fun episode. Yeah,
because it was fun. It was a nice good little backstage. Cody with his Lex Express.
Yes, I love that bus. I want that bus.
No, listen, Cody is taking the Lex Express a little too seriously. Even Lex Luger wasn't on his Lex Express the entire journey.
No, he definitely I need more Lex Express Cody. This dude is full on Homelander. I'm loving everything this dude's doing right now. He even has fucking armed Anderson. Like, okay, he's got the Glock one week, and then the next week he's in his goddamn backyard with a barrel on fire in the middle of the night, and Cody shows up in his suit.
It was quite the visual, that's for sure.
Like, what is happening? I don't know what's happening, but I love this. Burn your tie. Oh, you just wear a suit at 11:30 at night. I don't know. Maybe.
Listen. Cody Rhodes has a neck tattoo. He makes a lot of weird decisions. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I can't question it. He's got to hide that thing as much as possible.
I mean, I'd want to get removed by this point, but hey, that's just me.
Yeah. Okay. How do we feel about CM Punk's run at this point? It's kind of him versus the young guys feud going on.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Like, he's giving more attention to people. Whoever he's in the ring with, they immediately get the spotlight on them because he's in the ring with them. And the company does a good job of presenting it like that. Like, this is CM Punk, and he's not like one-sided beating these people. He's getting his ass kicked. Like the Hobbs match, he was getting his ass beat for most of it.
Yeah, the Garcia match was a lot of fun on Rampage too.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird. He's been almost exclusively on Rampage, which is kind of I'm not complaining about that. It's just an interesting choice. I thought you would want to have him wrestle on Dynamite, but he just kind of just cuts promos on Dynamite, which is fine. Sometimes his promos go a little too long, though. That's my only complaint. A little too long. Sometimes he's saying the same thing over and over again, like, yeah, he loves the run, he's loved the run. And we've heard that 3 times. I kind of feel like he is probably running out of stuff to say and kind of maybe wants to go out there and wrestle Dynamite.
Yeah, I mean, he comes out for his little promos. It sets up whatever young guy he's up against next. The record's increasing. It's going to be interesting to see what they do and who CM Punk's first major feud is going to be with. I think that's going to be pretty damn cool. It's really building up to a main eventer first. I've heard some criticism that they probably should have thrown him into, I don't know, a feud with Moxley right away.
No, they're doing a great job with him right now because that's what they're doing with Bryan. They're putting Bryan in the angles right off the bat. You don't want to do both of that with both of them. That's too much too soon.
Well, I'm just talking
balancing it out.
I'm just talking the level of main eventer talent. I mean, you don't have to throw him into the title picture right away, but throw him in against, I don't know, a match against Moxley. That's my first example I used, and I do understand the sentiment to that argument. I think with what they're doing now, has a lot more legs, and it really builds up to those matches later on. You're not burning through it quickly, and like you said, they're doing that already to an extent with Bryan Danielson, and that's creating a whole separate sense of buzz. And yeah, I do like I think the ratings for CM Punk segments are misleading because we'll see the culmination to how they built this up when like his first Dynamite match happens. It's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, but like I said, his promos are getting a little. Like I said, you can tell he's running out of things to say. He's coming out kind of saying almost the same thing he said last week with the journey. Yeah. I mean, he set up the young guy for Rampage, which is great. But I kind of wish they would maybe shorten those a little bit if they're going to do them, because they're doing those and they're doing the top team guy who I don't care for. They're doing his stuff like almost. Both of them go a little too long sometimes.
Oh, I love that stuff. We're gonna have a fun time on Rampage when that comes out. It's Jericho, Hagar, and Guevara against the top team with Junior Dos Santos, MMA guy, stepping in the ring. That's gonna be fun. They're fun angles. The Young Bucks with Adam Cole inserted is phenomenal. The whole Super Elite is just. Everything is must watch with these guys. Every match that they have is much watch.
As much heel heat too.
It generally feels like they have real heat in the ring. Yeah.
And there's not as much interference heat as I'm trying to, I guess. There's not the evil big dick Togo kind of shit going on right now, which is kind of cool. I kind of like the fact that they're being dicks in the ring. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how they're getting the heel heat instead of constantly having interference, which I prefer that.
Yeah, and they're beating our favorites. Which gets more heat in the modern era.
They're being very obnoxious about it.
Oh yeah. Okay, this was my Hangman Page won the ladder match. Fun little ladder match. I was about
to mention that. Yeah, he's come back. He's won the ladder match. He's gonna get his shot at Full Gear. They said that at a future date, but come on, it's gonna be Full Gear.
It's gonna be Full Gear. I mean, yeah.
Like who are we trying to kid? It's gonna happen in what, December? Fuck no, it's happening at Full Gear.
Yeah, it's gonna happen at Full Gear. It's gonna be the main event. Don't mess this up, AEW. You got to heat him up now. He's back. He's a hot guy. Get him. Have him. You know what? This might sound crazy. Have him beat Adam Cole.
Like on Dynamite?
Yeah, main event Dynamite.
It'd be a good way to bolster his momentum. I just kind of hope they don't do what a certain other company did with their big match, where they kind of fucked up the ending there.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, you got one shot at this, much like you had with that match. You get one shot at this to do it when it's at the right moment, when it all feels right, the stars align.
Yeah.
You don't want to blow it.
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't feel like Adam Page is hot. Now the fans think he's hot. It doesn't feel like he's hot, and because of that, it doesn't feel like it's his time to win the title, but the story is it's absolutely his time. So that's why I'm saying that's why I'm saying have a great match against Adam Cole. It kind of plays into that story where it's a big obstacle in his way again, and he finally overcomes that barrier to break through to get to Kenny finally, which he failed prior.
And it also doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt Adam Cole either. He can be his first big loss or his first loss, and I think what it does is it kind of knocks him down, so he's not right in the title picture right off the bat either.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going. I know it's a little fantasy booking, but I use it as an example of kind of a guy with.
It's a good idea though.
Yeah, guy with a lot of credibility. Maybe you can go through both Young Bucks one by one both weeks. But, whatever. It doesn't have to be necessarily these guys. It just makes sense for the story.
Right, I agree though.
I'm pretty down. MJF Darby Allin looks like they're on a collision course. That's cool. That's probably gonna be at Full Gear.
I think MJF I don't think he has to win that match, but I feel like it works better if he does win that match.
20-minute draw.
You think they're gonna go to a draw? I mean, I can see them doing it. I just feel like, at least my own fantasy booking way, it would work better if he takes advantage of Darby doing some reckless stuff like Darby does, bites him in the ass. MJF takes advantage of it, does his cheating shit, and wins.
Sure. Yeah, maybe.
Builds to a rematch, so you can do it again.
And one final thought is over the development of the women's division. And what I mean is lack thereof. Because
what development?
Because, okay, I gave them 2 years, basically. We're 2 years later, and they got the talent. They got enough talent. But these sub 4-minute squash matches on Dark and Elevation versus American Indie talent, I don't know who that helps exactly.
It doesn't help anybody because you don't get, one, your wrestler's not getting enough ring time to kind of build a foundation. They're not developing anything. They're just kind of doing one-sided moves. That's no different than just practicing in the dojo. That's all that is. You might as well just keep them there if you're going to do that. I think where I think the perfect encapsulation of kind of what the women's division is, or how it's treated, but how Tony Khan sees it, I feel like, is Emi Sakura and Ruby Soho have a 4-minute match that feels like it should have been longer, could have been longer, and Emi just loses on like a random move. Just comes.
Yeah, the finisher just comes out of nowhere and it's over in 4 minutes. I mean, that's the pulse. Yeah. That's Tony Khan's vision of the women's division. That's just what he is. I mean, we're having that match on Elevation while we get Ruby Soho versus
this entire time.
Yeah, yeah, and we have the Bunny, who's on television. Why? I don't get it. Why is the Bunny always there? It's baffling.
She can't wrestle. You know, and you can say what you want about the personality, charisma. She doesn't have either of those, as far as I'm concerned. Her personality is very like it's your stereotypical crazy psycho woman gimmick that Western women wrestling has been doing for years now. That doesn't get over. It is just a one-note thing. It does nothing for the wrestler, and doesn't get me to care about them. I mean, it's no different than what fucking what's her face did over in the Fed back in the Divas era, where she was just a crazy person the entire time. That's all this is. I'm crazy. Cool. I've seen it before though.
Yeah, and then I've noticed this a little bit more often in the stat lines when I'm putting together the in-ring time, and we're on a trend downward, and we're getting more of these women's squash matches on TV as well. The most recent example is Cargill versus Sky Blue. Again, I just don't know what that accomplishes. Like, we're also worried about Cargill and her development, and we know she has star written all over her, but there's got to be times when you give these women time. I don't care if it's on Dynamite or Rampage. That's not really the point. I'm talking about their development shows, and the formula of these squash 4-minute matches or less doesn't help anybody. In fact, it hinders their development because they can't, and they're only singles matches. There's not enough variety in the matches. They're not doing trios matches on Dark. They're not doing tag matches on Elevation. They're just always doing singles matches against other green talent, and you can't get better wrestling people of your green level over and over again. That's not how it works.
Right, and at the same time, you're getting 4 minutes to see them do one-sided beatdown, so even if they are developing, you can't see their development.
Right.
Because all they're doing is a bunch of scoop slams. Cool. I mean, that doesn't mean you've gotten better in the ring, though. I'm not saying you sell. I'm not saying you run the ropes. I'm not saying you put together a match that's like a competitive fight, competitive match. None of that. It's very bad. And I think I said before, I've given up on the division. It's a done deal for me. I don't think I care anymore. Sheeta drops the belt, and now she's just kind of doing whatever. Yes, they've got a story going with her. We'll see if they ever follow up on that for more than 4 weeks.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, we'll get to that because that's my last thought on the women's division. Is there are signs of things that are good every now and again, but they're still.
You don't feel confident in it. You don't feel confident.
Yeah, I don't feel confident. I don't feel confident, and there's glaring issues even on top of those. There's always a party match. That's what a lot of people are beginning to call them, where you have like a Darby or Moxley go in there for 5 minutes against just some, green as grass talent or young dude that has no credibility. I get that you want these stars on television, but they have other shows for this, at least for the live crowd. That's what Dark and Elevation were made for. Were for those kind of matches. Like, Darby and Moxley are enough into their career. They don't need the development match, the party match. But if you want to do that, then I don't see why putting that on Dark wouldn't be an issue. And then you can give, say, a Thunder Rosa versus Sky Blue match, I don't know, two names that popped in my head, you can give them 5 to 8 minutes. And I think that would accomplish a lot more, and you would build up the star power of your women's division, because we saw that we saw the issue with not doing that in the Shida Serena Deeb match. Neither of them have been on television since the beginning of May, and they've been off the radar for so long that the match, while good, I mean, I'd put that up in the mid card of any like Stardom pay-per-view. I think it was certainly that level of work in what they were able to do in 10 minutes. And it had a very good angle behind it, with Shida going for 50 wins, and Deeb is all pissed off. She's like, I'm not going to be your sacrifice. Fuck you. She beats her, taps her out, and then breaks her trophy. It's like, hell yeah. Good angle. Now we're invested into Shida a little bit more. But they're off television so long, the crowd it's like, who are these people? I don't know.
They didn't react to Shida's entrance. Remember before they'd react to Shida's entrance? They didn't. No reaction.
No.
Silence. Crickets.
No, and
imagine when Riho comes back. Riho comes back, guess what? She'll probably get the same crickets.
Well, it's like every women's match now. You notice that in the three-way with Cargill, Thunder Rosa, and Thunder Rosa's still over. They still see her as a big star right now.
For how long? She's been off TV
really,
so much.
It's really fading.
Eventually, that's gonna hurt too.
Yeah. I guess we'll see what they do with the TBS title that they
I have no faith.
It's the exact counterpart as the TNT. We saw the NWA title utilized. We saw how that format was. It's not different than anything. I mean, I wouldn't have an issue.
How I see it is the TBS belt feels more like a Band-Aid than an actual solution, as far as I see it. It feels like them trying to get another women's division or another women's match on TV. But I can totally see it just going into just every women's match is a TBS title match, and that's how they feel like that they're going to get the women over. And that's such a closed-minded
they're
going to
well, just like the NWA title, they're going to alternate weeks, or you won't see the TBS title for a few weeks, and it'll just be a random title match. It'll be like an open challenge, which is fine to an extent, but it's not gonna, like you said, it's a Band-Aid to the larger issue. So
right, and then you get to the point where I feel like they're just gonna over rely on it. It's not gonna feel like the TNT belt where you feel like the person holding the belt's credible enough and the challenges are good enough. It's just gonna become a crutch. Well, we don't have a women's segment. Well, just go out there and have them just have an open challenge.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like we're going to get to. Now, they haven't done anything, so this is just projection. I mean, let's be real. Do any of us have confidence on them not doing stuff like that?
Yeah, I don't. I guess it's time to go through New Japan, Dragongate, and DDT all in one shot, eh?
Yeah.
I'll play Takeshita's music. Why not? So, G1 is shaping up. We'll start with New Japan. I'll just kind of go through because I watched only a few matches. Great Khan is ready for the main event, I suppose. There was a lot of praise behind the Ibushi-Okan match. I'm not with him with that because it was very much this UWF shoot style type leg lock hold nonsense. Okay, I'm so over this UWF. I do not understand what people see in this style.
Yeah, I don't get it either, because Stardom was trying to dip their foot in it too. Like, I don't understand what the revival of this is. I'll say it again, like I said a million times over. If I want MMA, I'll go fucking watch MMA. I don't need it in my fake wrestling. Like, I don't need it. If I want to watch it, I'm going to watch people who are trained and specialize in that form of combat. I'm not going to fucking watch a bunch of wrestlers pretend like they're doing it. It's just terrible. I don't like it.
Yeah. So A Block is shaping up where it could be anyone from, I think Ishii still has a shot, but it's a very low shot, but it's mostly down to Kenta, Ibushi. That match is the big one to pay attention to. Zack Sabre Jr. still very much the favorite in my mind. and I think Shingo's in it, but I don't expect him to get to the finals. The A block finals has a very good chance of like a 3-way tie, but it's sure
Jesus,
looking
that
like
sounds bad.
Well, no. It's like the booking of how it's gone down is good. It's the investment in the company right now. The interest level is very low, and nothing feels like it's must watch until the block finals.
Black finals. Was there black block? Is it that's in the hidden block of New Japan's G1?
Yeah, right. My money is still on Zack Sabre Jr. I think he should roll in submitting the last guy or two, and then meet either a Jeff Cobb or an Okada. My preference would be Okada personally in the finals, and that would create a very good dynamic matchup there. And then the B block
should be corn on the cob. Should be corn on the cob, man.
B block is Evil's technically still in it, I think, but. His matches are just god awful. Like anytime I hear a review over
the lights went off on one of them.
Oh yeah, it's just the worst. The crowd just hates it. You go on a New Japan post and you see all the Japanese comments. They're all just going, "Evil sucks." Like every single one of them. They're just like, "It's boring. It's bad." Oh, they hate him.
Like, it's so funny because I've seen much like we'll get to the TJPW. I've seen this weird narrative from certain people here in the West that just say, "Oh yeah, Japanese fans love them," but if they actually went to the fans, went to their posts and the comments, you would know they're full of shit, right? They don't like these people. You can tell by the reactions. He gets silence. That's silence.
Yeah,
I can't boo him.
You hear the pin drop. It's not the reaction you want. It's definitely just. It's a gut punch. That's what it is every time. But at the very least, Okada and Jeff Cobb are on a collision course for the block finals. That's the whole point of B block. They're both undefeated, to my knowledge. I haven't looked at it in a day or two, but that's a good match. That plays off their story through the summer. They're 1-1 in their little series. I'm into that. The block finals I'm into. The journey there has been very a non-factor for me. I believe there was an Ibushi Shingo match I was really into, and an Ishii Zack match I was really into.
Say a lot if you can't remember.
Well, I'm not nothing's been match of the year candidate in this G1 in my mind, not yet, anyways.
So. I mean, I guess like I said before, I'll check back in when we get to the finals. Yeah. I have no interest in the rest of the tournament right now.
Dragongate, fear came true. BB Hulk is challenging for the final, and he beat the shit out of Yamato at the Cork and Hall show. He's just not Dreamgate level anymore. I don't have that confidence. This is not the same BB Hulk from 4 years ago. Okay.
I like BB Hulk. I guess it still ties in the Yamato story. He got his one over on Kai finally. I guess he'll get his one over on BB Hulk finally. After this, my God, you need to find somebody else to challenge, for fuck's sake. Because, I mean, Yamato's had one defense, so I guess I can't judge his reign just yet, but that one defense didn't give me any confidence so far.
It's very flat. The story, I will give credit, the BB Hulk story and build is way better than the shitty Kota Minoura one that they ended up doing.
The no build? You mean the no build that they gave to that?
Yeah, the no build and convoluted insertion. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad time. And now I'm on the opposite where this build's good, but it's like we should have been over the BB Hulk thing way before Yamato had even won the title in the first place. Because
I agree. But I mean, what happened to the other? Where's the other Demon Mask at?
Oh, Diamante? Yeah, I thought he was going to be the one, and like I said in the last podcast...
No. I'm talking about... Remember they had the other Demon Mask guy, right? RAD did, like a while ago.
Yeah, maybe he'll show up again.
Where's this dude at?
I don't know. Who cares?
Jesus
Christ. He'll show up when he needs to. Yeah, I'm not excited for... If they stick to the formula of what I'm gauging... A 20-minute Dreamgate title match with BB Hulk in it 2021, it's just not going to be good. It's going to be pretty depressing at times to see. Now, if they like pull a fast one and it's like 8 minutes and Yamato just beats his ass and we're done here, probably wouldn't use that on a Gate of Destiny card, but I definitely prefer that over what I got in my head of what this match is going to be.
See, I'm not as low on that as you are. I guess because I'm a little bit higher on BB Hulk. I haven't seen his old stuff enough to kind of be depressed on his current state. But for what I've seen of his current state, he can still put together a pretty good match. So I'm not too down on it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Yamato does it for me. I think he's very much built up because of his opponent in the ring. That's kind of what I've gotten from him so far, right? He, on his own, when he's in control of the match, he's in control of how the match goes and how it operates.
Yeah, it
comes off very,
it's a very older
and vanilla.
It's the last Dragongate generation style, how they work. So it's not Yamato's fault. We spoke about that on the after the I think it was the Kota Minoura match. I believe that's what we spoke about. That same topic.
But I feel like he's very much, because the Casey match I thought was great.
Yes.
But I think that's more to do with Casey than it has to do with Yamato. Just like the Kai match was great, but I think that had more to do with Kai and the story than it did with just Yamato on his own.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I can't say I'm enthused. A couple Noah guys, Keno and one of his Congo members, they're challenging Shimizu, so open the forbidden gate.
No, go ahead, close that door. Just go ahead, close
it on Noah, yeah. Well, fucking Eita won like the junior tag titles in Noah recently. So
those belts don't exist.
It's fine.
I've got a good authority. Noah does not have a juniors division.
Yeah, he won it with Booker Man over Noah.
Well, then I guess we know who does the job in that tag team, but they lose the belts.
Oh man. Now, Dragongate did have a main event at that Corkin show where it was a faction warfare, all out war. It's one together match, but it's 5 individual singles matches, and the team with the most points wins. And
that's like a mess.
No, it's really good. So what happened was it's a RED against Masquerade, okay? And they get together with their teams, they pick who goes out first. First it was Shun Skywalker against Inferno. And they had like a 3.75 star match in this, and everything was like sub 10 minutes, kinda. It just went by real quick. It had some heat. Once the match was over, they go back to huddles. Hio was Mr. Big Brain over there for RAD. He's like, all right, we got to get a point back, and they can change these things on the fly. That's the whole kayfabe of all this, obviously. And they throw in SB Kento, and who did Kento beat from Masquerade? La Estrella. And Kento submits this dude. It just goes on with that formula until you get to the finals. Obviously it goes, it's tied 2-2 going into it. Masquerade comes from behind, and Eita gets a blunder with the powder, and he gets beaten in the final. Masquerade wins. This is a winning formula. If they can build a story around a match like this, I think we got a main event pay-per-view type match stipulation here. Especially with like a unit disbandment thing on the line. Really cool concept.
Yeah, but I
like
feel like if you do it too much, you're in danger of overdoing it with this formula. So I think it's something you do in moderation, because I feel like it can become over-relied or overdone if not careful.
It could be. If this was the test run, I think it's a winning test. They did well on this. They could definitely do a lot with this concept for sure.
And they could. I still feel like what you described with Eita, I feel like they're still building the RAD disbandment thing at some point and just taking their time with it, as Dragongate tends to do, I guess.
Dragongate does that, indeed. And then over in DDT, they had some nothing show. A lot of... You're not going to sell me on a Yumika Hota fake shoot style match against the actual shooter going for the Extreme title. Okay, she did the rope running in the match that she did in her when she got knocked the fuck out.
Oh yeah. Did she get knocked the fuck out of this one? Probably not. She probably won.
No, they did. It was pure comedy around Hoto rules is AJW rules. Therefore, there's no rules.
It's not how AJW rules work.
And then Takeshita and Shun lost the tag titles to Disaster Box. That's Harashima and Yoshimura. It was fine. Nothing really to write home about, though. And that's your DDT catch-up. Very flat coming out of Peter Pan right now. They did the...
Yeah, it's kind of funny because they're starting to do a bunch of like, hey guys, we're going to run a bunch of shows at Shinjuku Face for free. So just come on in. Please come watch our shows.
Yeah, it's a very big please clap energy. They're
Oh,
really
yeah.
pushing the fact that their product isn't worth any money.
Oh yeah, that's what it tells me. It tells me, oh, we can't get people to come pay for our shows, so just come on in. Doors are open, seats are warm.
And I'll give you an example throughout history where this business strategy in wrestling doesn't work. And we'll might get into it more with Stardom, but this is funny. UWF was a promotion that Jim Ross came from, and Bill Watts ran in the South.
I've heard tale of UWF. Yes.
Okay. He was so desperate for fans to show up, he would have shows often at heavily discounted ticket prices. $3 here. All seats are $3. Anything upper bowl is free. You get the idea. I have Muhammad Ali on the show, but all our tickets are half price, or just to fill up a stadium to create the sense of it's a full crowd, therefore people want to see. Does this also sound like something Neo did in the early 2000s?
Oh, it sure does. Hey guys, you could come see our show. We've got a bunch of hot, cute girls. They used to put the cuter girls out there on the front to come sell tickets. That sounds a lot like they did. Also, it sounds like something JD Star did in its last couple of years.
It never works. It never works. It creates this mentality in the fan base that your product is worth less than nothing.
Oh, I have a big point on that when we get to talking about the TJPW stuff, because I have a big thing that I want to ask you and kind of want to bring up on my own on that.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, guess it's Joshi time. ワイドスターグランプリの対戦でそう感じ取ったと言います。ワールド・オブ・スターダムチャンピオン林下宇佐美。いろは匠以降近年のスターダムでこちらはスーパールーキーとしてデビュー、まさに新時代を構築してきました。 I had to get to that like organ jamming theme there. Utami's new music is incredible.
Oh, it's fucking fire. Everyone's new song is great. Like Azumi has good new music, Kamatani has good new music, Momo has new music. This Quest has a new flag. A new flag.
It's got the new symbol on it, yeah. Logo.
Oh, it's great. Listen, you want to talk about big dick, big money energy? That's Stardom right now. Utami comes out with her Okada coat.
She look, it's Alucard Utami straight out of Castlevania. It's phenomenal. She has leveled up. They are really presenting her as the biggest of deals in this promotion. And it's pretty awesome how the red belt and the white belt have just two completely different energies to it, and it begins with the entrances to who is going for these things. It's I think Osaka Grand Final, Osaka Dream Grand Final was a home run show. They drew like 1,400 people in Osaka. I couldn't confirm if it was set up for 1,500, just like Oda Ward was. Nothing points to that being true exactly, but
so I think a lot of
stats show that it's very tough, or it's a lot tougher for companies to run Osaka and draw super well outside of New Japan.
New Japan's been the only company that's ever run it.
Well, Osaka Joe, yes, specifically, but there's also the Edion and these other places.
Right.
By the way, Stardom outdrew Noah again.
Of course they did. I mean, is that even a question at this point? But I think a lot of why this attendance was not as high, maybe. Well, one, the tickets went on sale before the restrictions had been lifted. So I think they were already capped at how much they were allowed to sell, because they were starting their sales before restrictions lifted. Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought it was because restrictions had just been lifted, people just maybe didn't want to go out. But no, their tickets were on sale before restrictions were lifted, so I think they were only allowed to sell a certain amount.
Okay, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why there was a cap before. Okay, that would make a little bit more sense. But anyways,
I don't know what the cap was, by the way, because no one else has run Osaka Joe.
Well,
so we don't know what the cap right now currently is for it. So they could have hit the cap. They could have been just under the cap. But I don't think any of that even matters. I think it's the perception that they have right now that matters. And I'll get to that a little bit more when we talk about TJPW. But perception is important right now, especially if you're trying to vie for that number one spot.
And they're they got the number one spot in Joshi. That's down. Like, we're done here.
They 100% have it. It's not even a competition.
It's not a competition. They're going for number 2 in Japan. That's what's happening right now.
Oh, and they're gonna get it, like, without question. Like, I don't even doubt that they'll have it by next year. By this point next year, they'll already be the number 2 company in Japan. Period.
Yeah, I'm super excited the more of these restrictions lift, the more I really want to see what this company is capable of doing without these restrictions, because it's certainly
all the momentum in the world. They're red hot. They're making the cover of Shoe Pro more frequently than any other women's company has. Like, who does that? They do. They're doing it.
It's pretty amazing. It's a Bushiroad company, so they got a lot of support behind them. Of course, you can't deny that. But hey, that's good on Stardom, good on Rossi for selling to them in the first place.
Smart businessman Rossi over here with his big brain.
Yeah. And so what was your, besides the semi-main and the main, that's kind of what we're going to focus on. What was your big takeaway from Osaka Joe?
Just how big it all felt. Mm-hmm. I think everything from the opening match to all the way to the finals, everything, as usual, feels like it's a big deal. Like, they feel like a big New Japan-esque company with how the presentation is, the camera work, the pyro effects, the stage, the energy, the commentary. I mean, they had Chigusa Nagayo on commentary the entire night. The legend, Chigusa Nagayo. I mean, come on. I mean, Ruaka wins the future belt, which I think took kind of all of us aback when we first saw it happen real time. I didn't expect her to win. But then when she did, it immediately sunk in that it makes sense. Unagi's moving up the card. And Ruaka winning it makes the belt finally sit where it should be. And that's kind of at the lower end where people like Hanan and Rina and Hina feel like they can actually vie for it. Because, I mean, Hina and Rina and all of them aren't even on the same level as Maika or Mina or Unagi. So kind of lowering it to that level makes the belt at least more competent. You can believe the challengers a bit more. The artist belt match was my match of the night still. I fucking love it. Mahime Poi coming out with their matching gear like John, which got me a little concerned at first because, you know, John matching colors, never a good sign. Emulating a dying faction or a dead faction. But they felt like big deals. I mentioned Queen's Quest. They had Azumi sporting her not Ava gear anymore. It's kind of gold, white, and purple Ava gear now. She feels like a big deal. Momo has the big giant new flag. Kamatani has her big like the tassel-y Okada robe. New logo, the new flag. They all felt like bad bitches as they came to the ring and all kind of like posed on the apron with the new flag.
Yeah, they look like 3 women whose car broke down at the bowling alley and they're ready to take it all out on DDM.
I wouldn't say they're that low. They're at despair level, but you know, they're like people you don't want to run in the alley with. Like, you feel like, just briefly touch on it. The press conference they did for the big Kawasaki show, you had all of them show up in fucking leather, like old Queen's Quest style. Momo with her leather jacket and shorts, Azumi with her leather jacket and shorts. Like, it's fucking awesome. They're presenting Queen's Quest like the badass bitches, and DDM kind of like the kind of also bad bitches, but they also had a dance number. So I don't know what's with Stardom now and everyone having dance numbers, because we saw it with Cosmic Angels as well. There's kind of random dance numbers in the middle of things, or their entrance.
Yeah, why not? You want to create a babyface team and do something unique that makes them stand out. I mean, we saw Julia and Shuri do this before a QQ match as well. So it's kind of fits
with the head banging thing.
Yeah,
with the
it fits
weird
into the head games they want to do with QQ. So it's really funny. I love it.
And they're wacky and stuff like that. But I feel like you should be a little concerned with one person in particular. Your favorite there, Maika. She's kind of dead center in her matching colored gear with the rest of her group. Much like a certain Jungle Kiona.
Look, bro. Let's not. Look, I'm already low right now. You don't need to knock my knees out too. Look, this artist title match was this was awesome. It's the most. Look, Stardom's doing Dragongate better than Dragongate is in 2021. It's matches like these that just continue to do that. This is probably Stardom's second best tag match this year, and it deserved it all. It earned it all. Micah and Saitani, their rivalry just continues to grow, and they just keep playing off it, and this match was no exception. They had Natsu Point Azumi in there in tandem against each other. Everyone, Momo Himika was a little bit weird, but they played off of their 5-star match in this one, so they kind of picked up where they left off. So everything molded very well and had great chemistry. This was my second favorite match of the night.
And this was only my favorite purely. Being a mark for at least two of the people in the match, Poi and Momo, kind of helps me a little bit with liking it more. But you're also forgetting the little thing that they set up with Poi and Momo. They kind of played on their little tit for tat they had post 5-star. So I kind of liked that, them playing on that. Even Micah and Momo, where Micah and Momo had traded wins, remember? Last year and the year before. They kind of played on a lot of that. There's Azumi and Micah as well. They did a lot of playing on different interactions between people in the group. And I thought that did really well for them.
So before you go on further up the card, I did laugh hysterically at Unagi getting beaten up by a bunch of teenagers to lose the title.
A bunch of children in Saki Kashima.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why it fits Unagi that this is what happens. He just gets mauled.
Gets mauled by two 15-year-olds. I believe they're both 15 or close to, and Saki Kashima.
Yeah, it's really funny. And we kind of saw what was going to come out of the 5-star with Unagi pinning Tam with the white belt. So it's a New Japan thing of you lose up, and it's just it doesn't rub everyone the right way, but it's the future title, so I don't really care either way.
Like I said, it brought the belt back down to where I think it should be now. Where it's realistic, the people challenging for it.
Team Marvelous beats Cosmic Angels. Mina Shirakawa is just on a roll of her life. She's super confident. She has a ton of charisma, and her ring game has picked up a lot.
Maria, somebody who I think this is her first appearance in Stardom. I could be wrong, but this is definitely the first appearance that I can at least remember. And she boy, did she make her presence known. The fans apparently also afterwards, the Stardom fans were really infatuated with her. They really liked her a lot. So I see her coming back more. So, Mei Suzuki, who's that? It seems like they had all forgotten about that real quick. But I've always said this about Maria, that she has the outward charisma, like Mio Momono, that you can't teach. She has like the attitude and kind of personality that works really well, especially in Stardom with the having the hair and being a bitch to everybody. She kind of did that with Mina. I kind of like that a lot. And so I feel like if anyone benefits from the May and them all leaving, it's definitely Maria.
Yeah, she was kind of getting thrown behind them, not to a fault of her own. One thing I really loved about this show was the set and the entrances. They made stars
big Rey Mysterio.
They made stars feel unique. They made everyone feel more important than ever before. From Starlight Kid coming out in the old gear and then drops down beneath the earth and comes back with the fucking Liger demon mask thing.
Oh, that was what a star-making entrance.
Yeah, she's on a roll. Azumi becoming.
God, she's amazing.
Azumi becoming Rey Mysterio, jumping out from the stage.
Who's that coming out the sky? It's Azumi. I thought that was great. They even showed like a behind-the-scenes thing of her doing that too. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and now that Utami is fucking Alucard from Castlevania, now Shuri with the fucking blood red moon behind her is straight up Richter Belmont over here. They're on a collision course for a Castlevania final boss battle at the end of the year. I love it.
So is there gonna be a whip involved somewhere?
There's got to be a fucking chain whip or something going on.
I think the utilization of the lifting entrance where they lift him from the ground was great because they did it with Azumi, they did it with Starlight Kid, they even did it with Utami, and just the fire coming around her and the smoke as they did it. Jesus Christ, we were presenting something like a big fucking deal. That's how you do it.
Yeah, I liked what they did with inserting Saki Kashima into a Shuri match and I like what they're doing. Post 5-star, they have to avenge their loss. This is so Japanese. They have to avenge their losses to tell the story that they are back in peak form for the inevitable final battle between each other, assuming they can make it that far. It's the most Japanese story you can imagine. New Japan does this with kind of their post G1 with the IWGP champion avenging losses to keep the title to get to Wrestle Kingdom now that he didn't win the G1
before. Stardom did this with Arisa, and I think they did it last year too with Julia. I think. Yeah, and it's something they definitely do though. They definitely play on it. It's a very Japanese thing to do, like he said.
Yeah, and Shuri and Utami doing a lot of this makes all the sense in the world to me. It makes every title challenge feel important. Is the winner not in question? I would say who cares at that point. The story's there. Just go with the story.
She mentioned Saki Kashima though.
God, I liked what Saki did. She
did great. She filled in for the for Mid Nami.
She played Konami better than Konami does.
Yeah, because Konami's got the stomach virus. She had some mid pasta, some pretty bad mid pasta, and now she's out.
Yeah, I had some bad mid pork.
Well, then you and Konami share the same fate at least.
And no UWF match, so the card was immediately better without that match there.
Oh God, yeah! Imagine how much that would have brought down. I mean, sure, if anyone's gonna do it, sure, you'd probably be the only one that could probably maybe make it a passable match. There's no way you're making that a good match.
Nah. What'd you think of Hazuki's return to the ring and then announcing she's teaming with Koguma for the tag league? Which, by the way, those tag league teams look great this year. Shuri and Micah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, gimme.
Well, yeah. Especially because Julia's not going to be able to make it, so having her team with Micah just makes all the sense in the world. I liked it. I also like her new music. Again, they're doing new music for everybody, and I don't know who they have composing their stuff right now, but whoever they have, dude, keep paying this guy, girl, whoever it is, because they have not had a single bad song come out of this. It is awesome. I kind of want them to redo the Queen's Quest song now. Because I feel like that song's kind of
might be time.
I think it's kind of dated itself at this point. Stars' theme kind of fits in a little bit more. Queen's Quest's one kind of maybe doesn't anymore because they're moving past the Io Shirai era. So I kind of feel like changing that will probably be something they'll do eventually. But Hazuki comes back now. I thought she was gonna have new gear, but her coming out in the gear she wore during the Hanakamura show kind of makes sense, right? I don't expect her to. She just bought that gear, so I'd imagine she's probably not gonna buy new gear for a little bit. It fits. Comes off with big babyface energy. She came out at the end of the show and challenged Utami, and Utami's like, "What? Okay, whatever." She's being sarcastically polite while Micah comes in the ring and just says, "Hey, bitch, step the fuck off."
Well, it's good. No, I like this. I like this move. I was very skeptical and very questioning where Hazuki was going to fit in. And her return match sets up an angle for Tag League. She wins. She came across as a bigger star to me, and her challenging for the red belt right out of the gate in between this Utami Shuri feud. I love this move because it tells me that they are going to treat Hazuki like a main eventer.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I put 2 and 2 together on this one, and I think I always remembered this being the thing, but it kind of brought to my attention now, especially given her Tron says Wild Heart in big letters, like Momo says True Heart in big letters. True Heart, Wild Heart, Eternal Rivals. Momo's getting the rub up the card while Hazuki makes a comeback. I mean, I feel like something's coming on, but something's going to happen between those two, and I am dying to see that happen again. I love their first title match with the white belt. I want to see that happen again.
Yeah. And as for Shuri, Azumi is her next challenger, SWA, and the contract of the 5-star. Cool. Give them, 12, anywhere from 12 to 24 minutes. I'm in. That'll be a fun match.
I'll make it 10. Make it be like a sprint ass-kicking affair. I feel like Azumi works better in quicker matches these days.
Could be. Shuri seems to have a slightly easier schedule heading into the end of the year than Utami. Utami's got some... She's got some boss fights ahead of her.
She sure does. That's definitely something they're doing intentionally.
Yeah, it's great. I love simplistic simplistic storytelling with stakes involved. I don't ask for much as long as the right winners and stories play out. Okay.
Should we talk about Tam Mayu?
Yeah, a little controversy with a lot of fans. You were initially not happy with this match. Scott E. over at 5-Star Joshi Podcast, Stardom Quest just eviscerated a lot of this card. Those guys, they felt a lot of despair. And I watched this match and I'm like, guys, you gotta watch this again. Don't watch these things like drunk at 3 a.m. Because
I was more tired at 3 a.m. So yeah.
As I'm watching this, I'm like, this is awesome. They both come out. They have the big entrances. Mayu's fucking all blonde now. She's straight up she's channeling her Jungle Kiona.
Funny to make that comparison. I made a different comparison with that hair.
Okay. And they go to a 30-minute draw, which on the surface may bother people. But man, did the way they told the story in the ring where, to me, with all the backstory and the betrayal and Tam starting Cosmic Angels and Tam's goal to beat Mayu in the center of the ring. Not kill her, destroy her, beat her down 1, 2, 3. And
use between two was kill the other.
Right. The only way you're going to beat them is to kill them, and one mistake is going to cost, and Tam knows that very well facing Mayu one too many times. They went to a draw earlier this year, and now they got an extended time limit on there. And they start off the match, they're staring daggers into each other. They're very careful not to...
It's funny, I had that in my notes, because I got notes on this.
Yeah, they're very careful to not, afraid to make a single mistake. Mayu's not taking Tam. She's taking her seriously. She's not treating her like someone less than. She knows of Tam's growth. Tam knows who Mayu is, obviously, so they're very careful, and they go through the motions, and as the match keeps going on, they're just kicking each other's head off. They're slapping the shit out of each other. This was such a fresh match from Mayu Iwatani that I haven't seen in years. And the closest thing I could come in my mind was an Io Shirai match, when it's so focused around the rivalry and story of it all that we over the last few years we've only kind of seen big match Mayu like in the world title. Now we get Wonder title Mayu, and it's Tam brought out a completely different wrestler out of her, and because that's who Tam is, she is a completely different wrestler than everyone else. And when I got that moment where they both like cracked each other and they stumbled backwards and both fell out of the ropes at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna go to... I thought they were gonna do a double count out. And they barely made it to their feet, and they both just kind of slowly roll into the ring, and it's just one move after another where they're just depleting each other's energy, and 30 minutes hits. I'm just going, all right, I'm ready for that fucking rematch. Let's do it at goddamn Sumo Hall. Let's go. I'm into it. I love this so much. I have it as my number 4 Stardom match of the year. It's just below the 5-star final for me. I think if it had a finish, it would have been even higher. But even so, what they were able to do in this match, in the I guess pace of what they were doing, I thought couldn't have been better. I mean, we're talking 5-star match. If it had a finish, we're going like 4.5, 4 3/4. Right here, and I'm looking forward to this rematch more than anything else right now.
All right, so I got notes. I've been excited to share my thoughts on this match, because when I watched it the first time, I did not like the match at all. I was very disappointed, very underwhelmed by it. But being fully awake, not trying to watch Wrestle Princess at the same time, having my undivided attention, I fucking love this match. It's exactly what I wanted it to be, storytelling to the T. But here's some of the notes I have. Mayu hates Tam for betraying her after she took her in as family and gave her a family after Oedo Tai kicked her to the curb. Tam hates Mayu for not being happy that she was able to grow on her own, start her own family in Cosmic Angels, and instead feels that Mayu just wants her to be her partner and never anything more than that. Which is the story that they're telling. And that she's not happy for her for achieving her dreams. You know, Stardom's dream, that's what she is, right? Mayu's blonde hair and the braid down the middle mimics the style of Tam's hair when she was in Stars, showing that she prefers that version of Tam, almost as if she was mocking Tam.
Ah, I like it. Love it.
That's where I put to it, because she's had the face paint on her face a few times now, so it wasn't new to me. They hate each other. You can feel that as the bell rings, they just stare daggers at each other. Mayu has a look of hatred and disgust, with Tam having a look of hatred and malice, like she wants to hurt her. The slow pace, but they're hard hitting. Each strike is delivered with the intent to make the other person feel pain. So, because the strikes and the kicks were very slow and deliberate, try to absolutely lay them in as hard as they could. They keep hitting each other, both very slow as they kind of stare daggers at the other person trying to get back into the ring. Eventually, them shoving Daichi out of the way because he's getting in the way of them wanting to hurt each other.
Oh, that spot was great. And he pushes them back in the ring.
I got a very big theme of they want to hurt each other. You can just feel the hate between the two. Thought it was really well done. No desperate rush as the time limit approaches. They can hear the time limit break, but they're not rushing. They're not trying to desperately crawl and hit their big desperate finishing moves. They're trying to beat each other down, almost as if they don't care about the belt or they've forgotten. They're so mixed up in their own hatred for the other that they don't even care anymore. And hitting her finisher anyways, even after time expires. As the bell rings, time expires, she hits her finisher and doesn't seem to care. Seems to mount onto Mayu and continue to hit her. They're desperately clawing and grabbing each other's hair as Mayu flips Tam over, puts her hand on her throat as if to say enough.
Mm-hmm.
Mayu and Tam hate each other. You can feel it in every interaction. And by the end, Tam cuts a promo where she's crying and angry, almost as if she's sad and upset that it had to come to this. Can't get over the fact that she now hates Mayu. I fucking ate this up. I think I've said this before. I don't know if I'm repeating myself. Storytelling in matches always elevates a match. It can be a good match with an excellent story, and it'll be above a great match that doesn't have a story, in my opinion. I thought this match was on par with Tam Julia in the fact that it was a story-driven work of art. Can't wait for the rematch.
Yeah, I hope it's at Sumo Hall. I really got a kick out of Unagi coming out, and Tam just gives her the business look, just going, "We really doing this?"
Like, now is not the fucking time, bitch. Don't make me hurt you next.
We fucking laughed. I love it. And then we followed it up with Utami teaching Iroha a course in humbleism. And showing
she beat the fuck out of her in the last 5 minutes.
And this was a very different Utami match, and I absolutely loved it. It was so Utami comes out like Alucard out of Castlevania. We wanted that. Iroha comes out with her basic little riffed guitar. It's fine. If someone needs like a makeover and a new thing, I think it's Iroha at this point. She's definitely a big match main event wrestler. And fun fact, this was the largest crowd she's ever main evented in front of without like a Chigusa Nagaya or a Kyoko Inoue in the ring with her.
Checks out.
Yeah. Utami giving the rose to Nagayo, and Nagayo's just like, "I'll take the rose," and Utami's she's got that look that's I'm gonna now go beat up your pupil.
Oh, I loved it and this kind of makes me so mad that they had to wear masks. I get it, but God, you could tell in her, the top half where her eyes were, Chigusa was selling this like an exasperated, like really kind of look. Because the way she handed the rose, she didn't hand it like she hands it to other people, where she kind of points it towards them and hands it to them. No. She presented it to her as if an offering, like a funeral offering. I'm going to go humble your people. I'll be right back.
You can put this over her dead corpse once I pin her 1, 2, 3. And that's what we got. We essentially got, it's an Iroha match, so there's leg work that she ignores.
Of course, because she doesn't sell.
Yeah, whatever. I'm over it. This was the best. I like this more than the 2 Mayu matches from Iroha last year.
Yeah, 100%. Those matches weren't as good as this, not even close.
I don't think so anyways. Yeah, and this is still like only number 10 on the Stardom list this year. So the Stardom set such a high bar this year compared to the last couple that I can get and watch a 30-minute Utami Iroha just bomb throwing beatdown. And I'm like, yeah, that's like 10th best for Stardom. What is that? Oh, 4.5 stars? Yeah.
That's made for them.
It's so normal. Yeah, it was great. It's Utami on top rather than babyface, and from the entrance to the end of the bell, she felt every bit of that final boss, big boss deal. No Metal Gear Solid reference needed. And look, Iroha needed to lose. That's fine. Outsider comes in. They presented her as a big challenger in the 5-star. I will say it all day. I'll say it every time. I still think Iroha should have beaten Utami in the 5-star to give this match more heat. But regardless, it led to this 30-minute no time limit, and they just went 30, basically. That's fine. And
30:07.
Yeah. And Iroha didn't do the whole kick out at 3 deal, but Utami sure made sure her arms were pinned to the mat to not do that shit, and she folded her too.
Oh yeah, you could tell Utami, like, so we point this out, but you could tell Utami they're probably aware of this shit in the back, her tendency to kick out at 3. Utami's like, no, bitch, you're gonna lay there for the entirety of the 3, and when I'm done with you, then you can get up.
Yeah. And of course, we
planted her with that BT bomb.
Yeah.
She planted her hard too.
Yeah, and they constantly teased the running 3 and the BT bomb back and forth. It wasn't like totally 70-30 as I'm making it sound like. I mean, Iroha had her moments. Don't get me wrong. She was definitely a good babyface kind of comeback move type person for this one. It's the best. Like I said, it's the best Iroha match I've seen in years. I'd have to go back a while. I mean, the Mayu matches are obviously on everyone's skull there, top of their minds.
Yeah, they're like, I don't think either of those are 4 stars in my opinion.
I mean, I gave them 4 something stars, but
I think I'll rewatch them, but I don't think I was ever as high on both of them as I was like something like this.
Compared to other people and other Joshi fans, I was definitely much lower on that match than others.
Definitely don't like the first one. The first one is definitely I don't get the hype that one. That was the weaker one. You could tell that match was thrown together in a night.
Well, yeah, but anyways. Hazuki and Maika are the next 2 challengers. Excellent. I love the move.
I can tell like, Hazuki to shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. It was great.
It's great. So at the end of the show, and multiple angles shot throughout the show, Stardom is immediately building towards 3 more big shows before Sumo Hall that they announced at the final climax, whatever.
So it's even crazier because just 2 days after that, they had a fucking yesterday, day before yesterday, just a couple days after, they had their big press conferences for the Tag League and for the big Kawasaki show. Almost like they're continuing their momentum, unlike other companies who just had big shows.
Yeah, they're keeping their pedal to the metal. The foot is down. These are our next big matches. These are our next big shows. We're building to them. Get excited, stay up with the company. Otherwise, you're going to be left behind. It feels like something that you need to pay attention to and get behind.
Utami makes the cover of Shoe Pro.
And Utami,
almost the next day, Shoe Pro comes out. She's on the cover.
Yeah. Any further thoughts, Kay?
No, Stardom is big time. They're white hot. They've been white hot for what, 2 years now, almost. At least a solid year at this point.
Well, in the growing sense, yeah.
Yeah, but they're white hot. Like they're continuing their momentum. They're not slowing down. They're not running a Shinkiba show or a first ring Shinkiba first ring show or a face show right after. Not even running a Corkin after. I don't think. Not that I can remember. I don't remember their next show, but they're keeping the momentum going. They're keeping in your brain, hey, we've got this big show. We've got Tag League. These are our teams. These are our blocks. Not letting you forget that there's stuff coming up so you can continue to get excited.
Yeah, and this is a good time for Tag League, too, because you can build up all those singles matches that they announced on future shows, and you have the Tag League to fill out a nice little under and mid card to keep you interested. Everything has stakes. I love it. It's good stuff.
My favorite little thing now for the Kawasaki show is the Starlight Kid Momo 5-star revenge match. And Starlight Kid tried to put the high-speed belt in line. Momo's like, no, bitch. I want the red belt. I don't want this high-speed shit. And the back and forth on Twitter, as of this recording, has been hilarious with Sonic like, but what if the fans want it? Mo, like, I don't care. I just want a singles match. I don't want your little trinket. I want the red belt only.
I want the only prize my eyes are on. Yeah, fits your character. Yeah.
I don't need your toy. I want the real thing.
And Starlight Kid is offended by this. She doesn't want her title, so she's trying to insult her and goad her into accepting. Yeah, it's great.
Momo for to agree. It's the best. It's hilarious. I love it.
It's great little heel work, kind of from both sides. It's great.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's great. I love it. It's amazing.
TJPW time. It was going to happen eventually.
Fair segment number 2?
Yeah, in a lot of ways. I will say, I'll start off with the positives on this show before I completely bury TJPW.
I guess I'll do the same thing.
I thought the entrances, they knocked it out of the park. I thought the production of Wrestle Princess 2, even though they just drew 900 people to what they were touting as their biggest show in company's history, and they did less than last year in the middle of a pandemic with more restrictions. Anyway, but before I keep going that direction, no, the entrances were great. Saki-sama came off as a big star, at least in the entrance. Masaruga dropped a tray. It was hilarious. Little too heavy on the comedy in that semi-main event, but it was still a very entertaining, good match for what TJPW does. Before the final match, everything was all about good feelings. And that's what the show was about. Here's some outsiders to pique your interest. They all won, so nobody was buried there, I guess. But who got pinned is a different matter. I'll get into that. Overall, I think the show is going to be viewed as a success for most fans. I think from a full card perspective, but how they left the show was such a gut punch that people are still very upset and trying to make sense of what happened in the main event. And that's not a good sign.
No, it's not.
And then coming out of the show, I think that's the end of my positives. So I'll stop there. Kay, what are your positives?
Positives, I think the production, like you said, was good. It wasn't as good as Stardom, which was happening at the same time, so I could tell side by side the difference. There's a very drastic difference in the production quality, but that was to be expected, I felt. Ram Kaichou, her thirsty best, definitely got a lot of the Japanese fans, especially all interested in her. Asuka coming out and twerking was also a thing. I guess they ran through their budget on licensed music with just her entrance alone. As they start with Billie Eilish Bad Guy, go straight to a Lady Gaga song. That was great. I thought those two entrances were the best. I think some of the ring work was great. I definitely don't like some of the finishes. Suzume getting pinned when she's tagging with Arisa Endo was not something I liked. I was very much not on that. When Yuki Rai getting pinned was expected, I guess. Look, on a whole, the show was fine.
I still don't think it was the right decision, though.
No, I don't think it was either. But I'm less upset about that I am the Suzume getting pinned again in a match where she's teaming with a rookie that should have beaten the pin. I think it was both were with Arisa as well, which is kind of funny. But I think on the whole, this show didn't feel like a big deal to me.
No.
Outside of a few entrances, it felt like a very mid-Corkin show. Didn't feel like it was a big deal. Some of the production didn't make it feel like it was that big of a deal. I don't like the stage setup. The random pylons that were all colored up just felt cluttered to me. The pylons and then the random scaffolding down the rampway just felt too cluttered, too close together, almost like they didn't know what to do with the stage.
You didn't like the Nitro feel?
No, but it didn't feel like Nitro. It just felt cluttered. I felt like there was too much on.
I think you're saying not enough David Flair and Surge. That's what was missing from Wrestle Princess 2.
I mean, listen, it needed more Raven. But I guess most of my positives came off a little negative. Saki-sama's entrance was great. Masaruga dropping the tray was even funnier. And then Aki and Chris Brooks burying her on commentary for 5 minutes was the best.
I
The match itself was good.
I had to switch to Japanese commentary. Aki.
Oh, Aki's terrible.
He is not the best.
He's gotten
commentator.
worse. He's only gotten worse. I think he's getting more bookings. Has gotten him too overconfident in his own, I guess, style, if you want to call it that. He's cringy. He's not good. Chris Brooks brings it back in, but it's like a one-man thing at that point.
Yeah, I love Chris Brooks on commentary. He's very calm, collected. He puts over stories.
He puts information. Yeah. He does stuff that Aki does it with his really weird, out of place jokes sometimes, references that don't make sense.
And he screams a lot.
Sure does. But the Majirabi Saki Bigun match was fine. I don't think it was a particularly bad match, but I also don't think it was a particularly good match either. It was just okay. I felt like a lot of it was Mizuki and Yuka just kind of doing the motions. It didn't feel like last year where everyone was putting 100% in. It felt like a lot of outside of the undercard. I feel like the main card stuff, at least the tag match, was just going through the motions.
Well, I mean, it was a one-match show. There's no doubt. They didn't bother to build.
100%.
Yeah, they didn't bother to build a single match other than the main event for their biggest show of the year.
Tag team champions and Majirabi didn't have any interaction outside of you coming out and challenging. They had no interactions with each other outside
nothing.
of that.
And they did the title change, got him off Bigun. Very uninspiring. Majirabi's champion again. No challengers in the rearview mirror other than, I guess, Venue, but I think that's more headcanon at this point. I have no confidence Venny is going to be back in TJPW anytime soon. Do you?
Well, her and Kaichara aren't coming back. I don't think either of them are coming back.
Yeah, I don't think so either. We got no post-match challenges when the show was over, nor when any match was over.
But I got some of my own thoughts on the post-match stuff without getting into the main event when we talk about that.
And then basically every single up-and-coming talent that you think would be in for some sort of push higher up the card, at least gearing towards Hikari Noa's international title, at the least, the minimum, but they all got pinned. They all 8 pins clean in the middle they basically got owned by the outsiders. They were really, really making the presentation come off that these outsiders, Ram Kai Chao, Venny, Aja Kong, they're all more important than your company's wrestlers, and I'm always against that.
Definitely got more focus on the camera when they had their entrances. The camera, because it was more noticeable with Ram, especially because she was with 2 other people, and the camera was mainly just on her.
Yeah,
it's almost like, this is the person that's more important. That's not a good look.
Yeah, they went 50-50 with the outsiders not getting the direct pin in the match, but it still hurt this in the same way. Yuki Arai getting pinned by Aja Kong. I get the story there. I think it's wrong. They should be like, Yuki Arai should have won the match and pinning Mocha, because then at least you can play into that story they're trying to tell, and it elevates Yuki Arai in a big show further instead of telling your audience she's an idol. Like Suzume continues to eat falls. Hikari Noa and Yuki Aino, I think, was probably the one I was moderately into the most on the show.
It's definitely Hikari Noa's best title defense.
It's her best title match. Yeah, it's her best one, and she needed this match, to be honest, because the opponents she's been given and the matches and highlights just haven't been there, and she needs to be highlighted more. And I thought the Aino match, though the build was again a convoluted mess. This is
no build.
Well, the build was Aino got pwned by Miyu Yamashita, and then she goes, "I'll settle for second best."
I mean, I guess that's how you want to interpret it, but that seemed like that build seemed to more be into the Ito Miyu thing, which didn't make sense that was the case to begin with. But whatever.
I mean, when Aino's cutting promos saying, "Well, I got my ass kicked, but Hikari Noa, you don't have a challenger." Like, okay.
That's exactly what she did. So you're not wrong.
Yeah. So, anyways, no fallout from the show at all, and the only fallout was a negative one, and that was the gut punch of the main event.
Yeah, Ito lost. That was the wrong choice. I don't care what planet you're on. I don't care what side of the internet you're on. The Japanese side, definitely. Like I said earlier in the show, anyone who tells you that the Japanese version of this Japanese social media was on board with this, they're lying. Go look. Go look at Twitter. Go look at message boards. They hated this. Miyu isn't over. Miyu isn't a draw. They don't want to see Miyu as champion anymore. But the company doesn't seem to understand that or get that.
So Miyu Yamashita is, and I have a number of like questions and small topics to hit on here, because don't get me wrong, if it's not just Maki Ito losing. We just went through the entire card, and nothing came out of it. There was no culmination of storylines, which is something TJPW constantly touts itself as, this storytelling promotion, this fun promotion that has things play out in hard ways. And look, if your ring work isn't as high as some other companies, then you have to be strong in something else. And the thing TJPW used to be strong at hasn't been that way since the better part of May earlier this year. And now we're in October at the biggest show of the year, and the one final drop in the bucket was Ito winning this title. And if they had more things going on, undercard, people being elevated, I would be less, I guess I'll use the word visceral about this main event, because then you could argue the fact, and I get the argument, that, okay, Ito wins the title, then what? Well, my argument is, well, then she has challengers, and it's fresh matchups.
She has challengers. She has plenty of stories to pull from.
Right,
Rika, Mizuki, Yuka. She has so many people you can pull from. Shoko. She has so much you can pull from.
Your January 4th match right away, you want to make a big corkin about it, is,
Mizuki.
You could do Mizuki. You could do Rika, who beat her earlier in the year when Rika had the title. You can revisit that match. That'd be awesome. And that plays into a story. I'm just like top of my head here.
You can do Yuki Arai. There's more of a story between her and Yuki Arai than there is Miyu Yamashita and Yuki Arai, which is a big
absolutely revisit that. That feels fresh and new. And the other argument is.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, let me just finish all these, because I think, you can see my notes. I gave them to you. Their big January show has no obvious challengers for Miyu Yamashita. Let's not pretend Miyu Yamashita has been this hot champion. She hasn't. And the argument is, okay, well then they announced Sumo Hall in March. What are they going to do? The rematch? Okay, that's like 6 months away.
Yeah, that's 6 months with Miyu still being champion.
So
that's 6 months they can't afford to have.
Right. This is not the case where you can insert Shoko, Rika, and company just again, because
ice cold too. Those two people you name are ice cold.
Right, everyone's ice cold. I've seen Mizuki get thrown around, but it's really coming across as just shotgun out of the pocket, and they're throwing a Hail Mary, because I guess you can play into the Princess Cup, but why in that case, why didn't Mizuki come out after the main event and challenge? Or why hasn't TJPW announced a Corkin show or some other venue where they can where there's an obvious like tag main event with Magi Rabi and 1 to Million, they're not doing any of this. It's just we're business as usual. And this, we spoke about it with DDT earlier a little bit. I kind of hinted at it. Is this house show schedule that these two companies have I think it's kind of proven to not be indicative of growth. It's just business as usual, and that usual is very stale, and it's very bland, and you're not creating a hot product. And coming out of the show with Miyu still as champion, nothing feels fresh. Everything feels stale. It feels we're back in 2018 again, when this company started to grow in the first place. So we've gone back 3-4 steps. So what do we do? What do we have to look forward to? Ito losing was the last drop in that bucket I spoke of. It's a gut punch, and we have nothing else to hang on to currently.
No. So to address the Ito winning, then what point? She has so many more stories to pull from. She if she won, right, you could easily revitalize the company by just pulling from her own stories. You go back to the storytelling, right? Because Miyu Yamashita has 0 stories. Any story she had already been played out. The Yuka stuff played out already. Shoka stuff played out already. Every story that Miyu Yamashita had, she killed off in her last title run that was already too long for some people. But when it ended, people were happy. People were relieved that she finally lost the belt. Because she's not over, they respect her, much like they do Takeshita. They respect Takeshita. Now, you can make the argument Takeshita might be over now because they built the story around him, but Yamashita isn't over. The fan base does not like her right now. I think they went from respecting her to, I think now, if you look at some of the comments, it's visceral hatred, not towards just her, but towards her being on top right now, because people are sick of it. They're sick of wasting their time and their money, which is a lot of what's being said, right? They're sick of having to waste time, money, and investment and nothing. With this, I think they've killed off any interest they've had from a lot of people. I wouldn't be surprised, because their next show they announce, fucking Shinkiba First Ring. Is that what a big time #1 women's company does to you?
It's not one that's not one that's trying to grow is doing.
We talk about Stardom doing stuff. And note the biggest thing was, the biggest eye popper for me right off the bat, when they did their intermission announcements, announced Wrestle Princess 3, Tokyo Dome City Hall again. I wonder why they're going back to the venue they went to 2 years ago.
Last year.
I wonder why they're going to that venue again. Maybe it's because, 1, it's cheaper, probably, and 2, it's the last venue they had any success at. There's a different feel between Wrestle Princess 1, Wrestle Princess 2. You can just feel it in the air, right? Wrestle Princess 1 seemed to be a celebration of the company. Everybody at the end was celebrating that they finally made it. You saw people crying. There were tears. Shoko was crying. Rika was crying. They were all happy that they made it in front of a big audience. Namba came out and opened the show by saying they sold all of their merch before the doors even opened.
Right.
Before the show even started, all their merch was gone. Didn't get that announcement this time. Post-match, like post-show, you didn't get the same celebration of the promotion. No, you got a celebration of Miyu. A celebration of Miyu Yamashita, where everyone just hyping her up and propping her up. All the wrestlers talking about how great she is, how she's leading them into a new era. It almost came off as reverential in a sick way to me. Almost like this is Kota. This is Kota talking to the wrestlers like, this is your guy, this is your holy figure. That's how it came off to me. Yamashita, it's. I think Kota is deaf, dumb, and blind at this point. There's no way he doesn't know that this reaction's happening. The fans hate Yamashita on top right now.
I think, and we've been saying this all summer, is they're playing so safe because they're so afraid to take chances on. Now, look, I'm not saying most of this roster is ready for the main event. However, there are people that haven't had the chance to be that main event player, like a Maki Ito, like a Mizuki, that feels fresh and new, that clearly has the fan support. And at the end of the show, TJPW did not give the fans what they wanted. Now there's going to be some people.
No, you could hear the reaction. It was quiet.
Yeah, I've heard various arguments and perspectives that Miyu on top's the right decision. It's your ace. She's the biggest star. Like,
she's not.
I just don't get. I mean, she's, I think, the best worker in the company, and
she is.
However, she's not a hot champion. She has no challengers. She's not interesting in her current role. She was more interesting in January in that Ito match, where Ito was like, look, we just repeated the same story again.
100%. Right down to the finish. Right down to the fucking finish with Ito crying and getting kicked in the head.
Yeah.
Finish. Same goddamn finish.
I did find it funny that I was reading some people on Twitter saying Tam Nakano's matches are too overly dramatic, and then they praised Ito in this match, and I was like I don't care either way. I think they're great.
Right.
And Ito, look, I like the match a lot. And with the right winner,
I hate it.
With the right winner, it would have been elevated that much further. Ito played her role great in the role that was given, where she got knocked the fuck out. She knew the end was nigh, and she's crying. She's frustrated with herself. Look, that all fits the character. Great.
We did this in January.
We did this already. That's the problem. She's cutting promos.
This calendar year, we did this.
We're cutting promos about happy endings. Get behind me. I've finally reached the peak. I came back from America. I mean, this is the Takeshita story in a lot of ways, Kay, where Akiyama beat Takeshita and fucking won the King of DDT tournament.
Dakota's stupid. It doesn't know how to book things properly.
Look what happens. Yeah, look what happens when we had the opposite.
Not happy.
I mean, DDT followed up Takeshita with a great story around Chris Brooks, and it was a winning main event. Now, the rest of the card, I had issues with, of course, but that was a winning main event, and it worked. And what DDT has done after that is not relevant to this particular conversation. But man, I just can't get behind missing out on what felt like the obvious choice. What felt like you strike when the iron's hot, and God, we've seen this a lot of times in wrestling. You just kind of know when a company's missed their moment, and them announcing Sumo Hall before this main event, and then Ito loses. I'm just going, why couldn't you just do the rematch at Sumo Hall with Miyu trying to get the title again, and Maki gets another big win? Or you go back to Mizuki, because that was a hot match as well.
Or Yuki Arai.
I don't think that's a Sumo Hall main event.
Right, but you can still build more things than so. I want to before we get too far into
this. To me, the when I saw the Sumo Hall, I'm like, okay, so we're gonna if I was Booker, and you want to tell the story of TJPW, you get like a Yuka versus Riho match, because you like your little AEW connection, and I think that's a good little story on the side. Maki versus Mizuki seems like the right event, and then you build Yuki Arai to win the international title at Sumo Hall, and you can have the ending image of kind of your best athletes, Riho, Yuka, Yuki Arai is champion, Maki Ito is champion, because this is the idol promotion, and your idols have accomplished being the wrestler. Like that's just like kind of what popped into my head, and all of these possible directions is now directionless. Like, where are we going?
No, it's bad. So I want to, before we get too long of the tooth that we already have in this.
I do have a couple questions.
Okay, because I was bringing up some stuff that also kind of maybe relate to your questions that I wanted to bring up.
Okay, so I'll ask the question.
Okay.
What if this is the booking pattern like we see with Tsukasa Fujimoto and Ice Ribbon, where it's beat the hot challenger before the big win, aka Maya Tsukasa at Yokohama, and then they carried that up at Ribbon Mania. Maya Suzu, which that was like just months into the pandemic, and then they paid that off at Yokohama. Is this similar, or is it different, or does this even work for TJPW, this style?
No, because for the same reason you brought up earlier, because they have nothing going on under the card. They have no other challengers. When Suka and Maya, when that match happened, I believe there was at least one or two more challengers, maybe three, I can't remember off the top of my head. Before or after that also fed into it. And the whole story was Maya couldn't get it done the first shot she had. So she gets her second shot. This isn't Ito's first shot at the belt, nor her first shot at Miyu with the belt.
Right, she just lost earlier this year to Rika.
Exactly. So you can't do that same story like that. With the Suzu thing, I mean, me and you both weren't very high on the third loss until they got to Yokohama. So I think, at least, I don't know about you, but at least I was more forgiving on it in hindsight, because I was like, well, they're in a pandemic. Maybe they didn't do the challenge change yet because they thought if they can get the Yokohama venue, that'd be the right moment to do it now. It's going so far into the year with it.
We also didn't wait 5-6 months for the rematch.
Oh, we waited like, I think 3 weeks. So
I think it was like a month, yeah.
Yeah, like 3-4 weeks. So it wasn't that long either. And the match and the moment, it all felt right. This felt like the moment to pull the trigger, and they didn't do it. And that's bad. They missed their opportunity. Now if they do it again, Ito does win, it's lesser. So no, I don't think it's the same thing at all. I don't think they're even remotely in the same ballpark.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical of how much the rematch is going to draw. Who knows? Maybe we're totally off the pulse on this. We're wrong, but
I'm pretty confident in that.
I'm pretty confident with how this company has gone since May. Okay, did you have a further question?
So I brought up on Twitter and got a little reamed for it by somebody that they didn't even get 1,000 people into Oda Ward, and they're going to run Sumo Hall, and that's a joke. Now, I guess because it's Twitter, I could have added more context that I couldn't, limited to the characters and all.
No, you just got to post everything in a foreign language like I have with German.
If only I knew how to do that. But
well, you got to learn German, Kay. Come on.
I want to elaborate a little more on that. So earlier in the year, Takagi opened his big trap and said, I want TJPW to be the #1 women's company. And he got clapped back on by Rossi in a way that embarrassed him. Let's be real here. He embarrassed the man. He made him look like a fool and like an idiot. Right? Brought valid points and made him look stupid for even opening his mouth and doing the words #1 women's company, right? Because they're not even close. That tells you where their mentality is, right? They want to compete as #1, right? So if you're competing at #1, when you run Oda Ward, you can't get 1,000 people in, but Stardom's run Oda Ward twice this year, and they've gotten over 1,000. Well, your competition's doing better than you are. And then you're going to announce Sumo Hall when they announced Sumo Hall. But you couldn't get 1,000 in the same venue that they ran twice. Hell, the same venue they ran just a week beforehand. Right? So what does that say? It doesn't say a whole lot about you as a company, right? Also, last year, they got 1,000 people in the venue. They maxed it out. Another venue, and they were white hot at that moment. So you could get 1,000 at Wrestle Princess 1, but you couldn't at 2. That's down. Like now they've lost attendance, right? That's lost. That's the decline, right? The graph goes down. So then you make a big announcement about Sumo Hall and about a January 4th Korakuen. Now, does a #1 women's company to you make a big deal about announcing a fucking Korakuen Hall show? Does Stardom do that? Because last I checked, they don't make a big deal of Korakuen Hall anymore because they're too big for that.
No, they're talking about running a build show at the Edion.
Correct, right? So then we get to the perception, right? So I mentioned this beforehand with you in a different discussion off air, but perception of Stardom is they belong at these big venues, right? They feel like they belong there, even if they're not getting 10,000 people in Osaka show, right? Like New Japan. The fact that they're there and they feel like they belong there is important. And the press, in this case Shupro, is covering them like they belong there. Right? TJPW ran Oda Ward, they didn't even get a blurb on that same cover. They didn't even get a blurb on the back of the cover. That's where Noah's blurb was. Noah got more coverage. The cover, the back end of the cover.
To be fair, Noah is a bigger company than TJPW.
Correct. But TJPW just ran their biggest venue in their company's history. They didn't even get a blurb on the cover.
Oh, that's what happens when you get like 900.
That's real bad. Then last year, catch your mind of last year. It felt like they earned that TDC Hall show, right? They felt like that they built up there naturally, organically. They had the momentum. They felt like everything kind of was going at the right speed, right trajectory.
Sure, yeah.
Now it feels forced, fake, and I can't buy them at Sumo Hall.
It does feel like they're trying to play catch up instead of doing what they're capable of.
It feels like little brother trying to imitate big brother. I can do that too, but you can't. You're not capable of it. Why are you even trying? It's almost like they're trying to put on the perception of success, but it's so obviously see-through and phony that nobody's believing them. Even fans, the TJPW fans, were questioning even announcing a Sumo Hall show because they don't feel like they've earned a Sumo Hall show.
I just don't think with their booking style and their house show circuit to build up these big matches, they can't get to that level of venue.
Does the #1 women's company run fucking Itabashi Green Hall on a regular basis? No, they don't. TJPW is so far back, it's even questioning if they're #2 or not.
I don't
keep saying
know.
they're number two.
I mean, you pulled up a bunch of Google Trends, and this is all in Japan, by the way. This is domestic, and they
because Fujimoto has more trends, and it's even funny to look at prefectures, which I didn't show you the prefectures. I probably should have. But Tsukasa has more searches in Tokyo than Miyu Yamashita as champion. What does that say?
It tells me Ice Ribbon has a much larger domestic fan base than TJPW, and
it's a more dedicated one.
Well, yeah, they definitely have Saitama down.
Oh yeah, Saitama was 50-50, but I did some digging into it, and I think it's because Yamashita lives in Saitama.
Oh, well, how about that?
Not from Saitama, but I believe she lives in Saitama. So she's got a little bit of fan base there. However, Tsukasa has, across the board, 100 to 70% everywhere else. 100% in Tokyo, by the way. Where TJPW's home operations are. What does that say? And you just don't even bother with Utami. But you put Utami's name in there, and it's a completely different graph. Oh. It goes into a completely different stratosphere. It's not even close.
I mean, I've also seen, this is my last one that we can kind of close out the Tooge, is I've seen the international argument come. Oh, well, you know, Maki would have brought in international fans. Like, look, there's no statistic that says that, I mean, we touched on this earlier. There is no statistic that says that Maki Ito's Twitter fan base or her showing up in AEW had led to major growth within Wrestle Universe, and Wrestle Universe just had a hard reset too, by the way. So everything's free until January. Good
4 months.
Hey, good for us, Kay, because we don't have to pay for it. But
bad for them.
It's bad for them.
Wasn't free.
Yeah, it's bad for them, and they were touting, what was it, like 10,000 subscribers or something?
They had the same amount of subscriber base as Stardom World, but their domestic to foreign market was flipped. So Stardom, I think now is like almost close to 50-50. Which is good. That means they have the domestic lockdown, which is what
actually,
you want.
I thought the Observer said it was closer to 70-30 domestic international now, while before the Bushi Road era, it was completely flipped 70-30 international.
I believe you're probably right now that I think about it. I remember I just know their domestic number is much higher than it used to be, whereas TJPW bragged that it's 80-20 for them. Domestic is 20%. That doesn't do a whole lot for you when your Wrestle Universe stuff is tied to ticket stuff, too. We get ticket emails. I don't know if you notice those random ass emails you get that are in Japanese.
Oh, I get them all the time,
things.
Yeah.
Those are ticket things. Yeah, free ticket offers, fan clubs, early access, VIP seat tickets.
Yeah, you would think the strategy would actually be to grow the domestic base when your tickets are tied into the service you're trying to sell.
Correct. So I want to...
And you wonder why they only have like 900 fans. Tops. Right.
So speaking of domestic, one small thing that I wanted to mention in the domestic market thing. So as we get closer to Wrestle to the TJPW's big show, right? Everybody was tweeting in English, and you could tell it wasn't them tweeting in English almost, because you have a gauge on what wrestlers know English. Raku doesn't know how to speak English. So you can imagine she's not typing the English somebody else is, especially at Complex, talking about being excited for a show and come see her.
Right.
They're all using the same verbiage and stuff like that. The absolute hard, giant push domestically came off as desperate. Please notice us, foreign fans. Our domestic fans aren't paying. We need you to pay to help us. That's not a good look. Even if that's not what's going on, that's the perception it gives off. And I wasn't the only one to notice that. Japanese fans also took notice. Especially when you get people like Mark and Kobayashi tweeting in English that you'll start talking more in English, because the Japanese fans' engagement is minimal. 0 almost. That's not good. That is not good. As a company, it's like if AEW focused only on Japan while ignoring their domestic market. That's dumb, isn't it? You don't do that. You want your domestic market shirt before you start thinking about the international stuff. That's what your money is. Your money's domestic. I don't know what's going on with this company or with any of these companies under Cyber Agent, but none of it looks good. I'm done with the company for the foreseeable future, so I'm not watching TJPW anymore.
Oh, well, I'll still pay attention to it. I like having my pulse on the business and other things, and I'm curious to I'm curious TJPW more than say Marvelous. We've already kind of seen what's happening with them.
I'll stick with Ice Ribbon and Stardom. Those two companies are the only ones that have any interest in upward momentum to me.
Well, yeah, I agree. I just want to see the builds or lack thereof of TJPW going forward coming out of the show over something I feel like they've made a huge mistake at. I want to see if they can stick it to me, and if they do, hey, more power to them. That's good. They could right a wrong in that sense, but right now it's certainly a company that's trying to get people foot in the door, which feels cheap, as opposed to the Dolce Cabana of Stardom over there, where
Dolce Cabana. I like that. But it's nuts. It's right. They get 900 people, and that's not that can't be seen as a success since they're competing with Stardom. If Ice Ribbon and Note Award in a couple weeks gets 900 people, we won't be saying the same thing, will we? Because they're different perception, different company, different fan base, and they're not trying to compete. They're staying in their own lane. So them getting 900 people is success for them. Getting 900 people, if they look at that as success, they're fools. They're damn fools.
Yeah, I don't think 900 is. I think under some circumstance you could argue that 900 is fine, but I certainly don't think it's good. And it's not.
No, not when every other company's running higher than you that's run out award this year alone.
Yeah, they were the lowest,
including your competition.
Yeah, Stardom's harder to tell because nobody runs Osaka Joe except New Japan. So that's a lot harder to gauge.
Right, because you're comparing them to the number one company in all of Japan. That's not an actual fair comparison for any other company. So,
all right, let's quickly get a few thoughts over Ice Ribbon out of the way, and I'll play Sakushi's music. Sounds about right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Takushi.
Okay, so not much out of Ice Ribbon. They're doing their little 10-minute draw dojo show competition. Still want to see that Risa Sarah Maya match. That looks really good.
We probably won't see that for a while. So what's going on right now in Ice Ribbon is because Tsukasa, Sakushi, Momokogo, and the president of the company are all over in Mexico. Things are kind of on a bit of a holding pattern. So no live streams because the president is the one that gives us the okay for that. Kind of can't do that when he's in Mexico right now. No Peace Party because Sakushi but she operates and runs Peace Party. That's a shoot, not a work. So she definitely does run those shows. So no Peace Party until she comes back. Everything's kind of in a weird holding pattern until I think the 30th is when they're all supposed to be back quarantined and out of quarantine. So we'll be a little while before we get some Ice Ribbon, but they've been having their fun in Mexico. Sakushi making herself a big social media person over there, fucking drop kicking the fuck out of people and just taking faces off.
She's drop kicking the Mexican old guard and going viral online. It's really
great.
funny. Yeah, it was. I followed like a couple Lucha Libre CMLL fans, and when they saw Sakushi do her running drop kick to Marcella, it just blew up, and everyone's talking about it, that she just, because Sakushi is a very lucha style as well, so she was really coming off well in Mexico. I watched all the matches available.
Her and Suka are definitely coming off well in Mexico because they both have lucha bases to their style.
Oh my god, they boo Suka. Tsukasa Fujimoto has so much heat in Mexico.
I love it. She's doing it on purpose. If you see some of the things that she's posting, she's like, yeah, good food. She's like, good food. Too bad the Mexican wrestlers aren't up to snuff.
Yeah, they're making fun of how slow they are in the ring, how old they are. It's generating actual heat. So when she kicks a motherfucker in the ring, Tsukasa does her punt kick, because it's not Lucha Libre and it's just a strike. They get so mad, and then she strikes the Japanese pose, like ha.
Yeah, she does like the bow pose thing. It's hilarious. Like Suka's having so much fun. You can just see, because she doesn't get booed very often. So whatever she does, she just eats it up because it's like, oh yeah, people were booing me, new experience.
Yeah,
I love it. It's great.
Yeah, and the not all the matches have been winners. That's for sure. There's been some stinkers there.
None of it's been their fault, by the way.
Oh no, it's very rough. Momokogo's having a rough time. You can definitely tell the language barriers, really tough on her. She's also not. She still wrestles very rookie-ish because she's still a rookie, right? Yeah.
So she's not equipped for this kind of stuff, and it makes you wonder how now Ishikawa would have done, because now is supposed to take that spot until she got hurt. Good news on that, by the way. She got the cast off finally, so she'll
cool.
be back hopefully soon. But it's worrying, because it makes you wonder how now was going to do in that environment, because I feel like now would have done way worse in that environment, because now has less moves to her repertoire. But Momokogo's having a rough time. Sakushi's having a blast, because she's already been there before, so she kind of already knows what to do. Suka, I think she's been there before. At least she's worked with some of the wrestlers before, I want to say. Mm-hmm. She's having a blast. They're having a whole good time. We can't see all of the matches. As I learned quickly, some of the pay-per-views are Mexico only. So, fuck me, I guess. I don't have a Mexican debit card.
Yeah, I mean, there's people have been posting links. You can find them. CMLL is posting them on their YouTube channel as well.
But there's been like clip shows.
Yeah, I mean, you take what you can get, and
I guess they're having fun though.
I tell you what though, on the CMLL side, once you get past the 45, 50-plus-year-old women that's still wrestling, this International Women's Grand Prix match was like a international versus Team Mexico elimination match. That was so much fun. Messy at times, don't get me wrong, but it was just a blast to watch. It came down to Tsukasa and Sakushi against Dark Sioweta, who is basically CMLL's top star, and she's like 35. She's all right in the ring. I'd kind of put her at like a, I don't know, a Tay Conti type level, but with charisma that speaks to the crowd more. Does that make sense? Sure, why not?
I guess so. I mean, I didn't know who that was until you brought her up.
Yeah, and then
I saw the match, but I don't know who anybody is.
Yeah, it's fine. So and big babyface win in Mexico. The crowd just absolutely loved Sioweta beating Tsukasa with a superplex of all things. So there you go, Kay. Sakushi knows how to beat Tsukasa now. Hit her with the superplex.
I'm afraid that's not going to work, because now Suka has that move scouted.
With shoulders like Sakushi, she won't be able to get rid of it. But there's a wrestler that's really popped off the page to me, and that's Stephanie Vacker. She's from Chile. She's 28 years old. She's even taking pictures with Tsukasa and all that. It would not surprise me that she does a tour in Ice Ribbon sooner rather than later.
Oh yeah, it's because they have a partnership now. CMLL and Ice Ribbon have announced of a partnership. I don't know the extent of it, because CMLL and Actress Girls also have a partnership still that they've mentioned as well with Momokogo. And that hasn't done anything in at least 2 years, it feels like. Maybe a little less than that. I don't know. But that's through Tehanma, and it used to be Tehanma and now Kakata, and now it's Tehanma and Akari Shimizu, I think.
But it was brought to my attention that a few years ago, Stephanie Vacker did a tour in Stardom, and by that was like 3 weeks. So
yeah, most of that wasn't good.
Much younger wrestler, much more sparse training. I would imagine she looks like she's filled with a good amount of potential. She really reminds me of Tekla at that kind of level. Tekla's got she's got the Japanese style more down, that's for sure. Stephanie Vacker's somewhere between a lucha libre and whatever power style she has. It's kind of cool to watch. I'm very curious to see if she will make it over to Japan, or at least we'll get to see more of, because she has like 4 domestic titles or something. It's really wild.
I mean, it's cool because they already have Akari over in Pure J, who's there. I think she's permanent there. I think she's like Tekla now, where she's just a permanent member of the roster. But she's also from Chile. And so, since Akari makes semi-ish regular appearance on Peace Party, kind of cool to see those two form a tag team on Peace Party, at least.
That'd be cool. Be nice. Yeah, I have my fingers crossed on Stephanie Vacker. I liked what I saw out of her. She was kind of the big takeaway there. A lot of those international wrestlers looked like they were up to the challenge. Much better than what we saw. I think it was Dallas and
Dallas is bad. She's terrible.
She's gotten a little better. I'll give her some credit.
I'm not gonna give her any credit.
Yeah, come on, give her some credit. There was La Jarochita. She looked pretty okay.
She's old. She's old and bad.
How old is Dallas? Hold on.
She looks like she's in her 40s.
Maybe.
She looks like she's in her 40s.
I don't know. She's in good shape.
She had a bad match with Sakushi, and I don't think that was possible until that point.
Come on. So harsh on these Mexican women, Kay.
Listen, if you're bad, you're bad. I can't help that.
I know.
I calls it like I see it.
All right, I guess that does it for Ice Ribbon. Nice little catch up on the CMLL, eh?
Yeah, I guess so, right?
All right, I guess it's retro time. And it's time for the retro section, or otherwise known as All Japan Women Destiny Podcast. And then after that, we'll go into some retro stuff and some Nitro Despair.
Yeah.
How you doing, Kay?
I'm existing. Watching a lot of Gundam. Existing.
Well, I got my anime kick on as well. But here, should we do the Patreon plugs? I think we should do the Patreon plugs.
Yeah, fuck yeah. $5 tier. Check out my awesome JD Star reviews. Also, your LLPW reviews. And Starcade still, right?
It's still Starcade for the time being, only a few more left, and then it's on to my special project, and I think that'll coincide with ending the Pick'ems. I'm going to use that energy and time for the big project I got in the works here. So if you subscribe...
You're telling me no more hustle? No more hustle?
Well, I mean, you can watch and review Hustle for the Patreon if you so choose.
I think I might actually do that.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, it's a good little project. It's something I think a lot of fans will appreciate, and that'll also be on the $5 tier. Make it that much more. So go on, subscribe. Patreon.com/RedLeafRetrocast. Easy enough to find. This is All Japan Women Destiny Time, episode 54, All Japan Women Classics, January 5th, 1992, from Korakuen Hall, the day after our previous episode.
Yeah, they did back-to-back Korkins. You know, that's they didn't normally do that at this point, so this was kind of a new thing for them to do back-to-back Korkin days like that.
Incorrect you are.
Incorrect.
Mr. K.
Ooh,
Incorrect.
Okay, correct me. Go ahead, correct me.
They have actually done a January 3rd or 4th or 4th and 5th, depending on how the dates line up. They've done back-to-back Korikins in January pretty much every year of its existence.
Wow. Okay, so that means I didn't look at dates right. That's on me.
That is on you. Yes, they did it in 91. They're doing it here in 92. They did it during the Crush Gals era. Anytime the company starts feeling hot, they book as much as possible and they run as much as possible.
Honestly, I think it's because they ran Korkin so much that it just feels like it's like Shinkiba for them. That's probably why I don't put two and two together with
Kinda, yeah. They do another Korkin or a larger or semi-large venue at the end of January. They do a bunch of house shows in February and March, and it kind of gears up for the run of the Grand Prix as they head into the summer lull. Big show in August kind of deal. Then it's Wrestle Marine Piad and the Tag League. You know the deal.
Right. It's the big schedule. It's kind of almost mirroring what Stardom does now, or Stardom's mirroring what they did then.
Yeah, basically, a lot of the schedules kind of line up. Instead of Grand Prix, it's the Cinderella, and the Tag League comes the different. There's instead of the Tag League being the big thing, it's the 5-star, and the Tag League is more of kind of a rest period.
Right, so correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know my New Japan, but the G1 didn't start until mid-90s, right?
1991 or 2, top of my head.
Okay, so it's like, at this point, the concept of a round-robin big tournament like that probably wasn't so widespread, at least in Japan. I don't know about the West. So that's probably why they didn't have a 5-star equivalent.
Well, I mean, the Grand Prix was their 5-star equivalent.
I mean, like singles matches. I gotta be more specific. Singles matches,
elimination.
round robin.
You mean, so you're talking about like the New Japan Cup? That's what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the G1, like the G1 thing.
Yeah, that's the 5-star. That's the Grand Prix.
Yeah, no, I'm saying singles match, not tag, right? Because the
G1
Grand
is
Prix
singles.
No, you're misinterpreting
what
I'm saying.
What are we talking about here, UK? You're losing me.
Okay, I'm saying that All Japan Women's big thing was the tag league, right? Their big round robin tag tournament thingy, right? The reason why they didn't have like a 5-star equivalent like Stardom, where it's like a singles match round robin, was because at the time that wasn't like a wide done thing, right? They had the tag version of it, but I'd imagine it wasn't until New Japan started doing the G1 and making that a big thing that other companies followed suit.
Well,
and that's why AJW didn't have a version like that.
But AJW has done a round robin tournament before.
Right, but it wasn't
it wasn't every year. They switched between it depending.
Right, it wasn't an annual version of it. That
not the same format, no. They switched between round robin and elimination like every other year.
The tag league was the big thing because they didn't have the like Stardom had. They didn't have the singles version of that same tournament prior.
Well, anyways, we're talking in circles here. On this show, we have the 3WA tag titles on the line. Jungle Jack against Inoue and Yamada. So they're going for the tag titles here. Big kind of grudge match situation. Sort of, kind of.
And it kind of, sort of. I mean, you have Inoue, who's with the Dome and or the Gokumen Toe, excuse me. And so that was sort of the big feud with Jungle Jack, right? Bull and Inoue.
At the beginning of '91, looks like
Inoue. Those grudges are still held throughout the year.
I see what you mean. Yeah, but
so that's what in the
meantime, Bull Nakano has been teaming more with Akira Hokuto, and Inoue kind of spliced off into teaming with Yamada.
Right, but Yamada, as far as I'm aware, at least, isn't part of Gokumen Toe.
No, this is just the way the tag league worked out, and they went to Mexico together, came back, they got super tans.
Sick tans, sick tans and sombreros.
Yeah, that's what you do. So our opener is the All Japan tag titles, so your junior tag titles. It's Takako Inoue and Yoshida taking on who will be later known as Blizzard Yuki. It's Saki Hasegawa, who we're watching be a whip wielding sidekick in Oz Academy in our 2010s journey, Joshi 2010s for the Patreon. She's teaming with Debbie Malenko. Debbie Malenko looking like she's coming into her own as someone with potential.
Getting used to things. Getting used to things getting better. So I had to rewatch parts of this because I felt like I misremembered things or didn't entirely remember things. So I did rewatch this match and the main event. I thought Debbie Malenko came off a lot better than she had prior. Saki Hasegawa, you could kind of see what they see in her a little bit. I feel like, at least for Takako, it almost feels like she has the look. She has the look of like what they want her to be at Cutie Suzuki, but it still feels like she's not entirely comfortable at times being that. In-ring stuff is good, but it feels like at times maybe she's not fully comfortable being that Cutie Suzuki copy that they're trying to make her.
Well, it looks to me Takako Inoue still needs to bust out into her own shell, but regardless of that, this was the best match I've seen Yoshida in, and finally starting to see some development out of there. And usually when these people lose the junior titles of sorts, that means they're ready to move on up the card in some form of fashion.
Right. I think Takako definitely moves up. Yeah, I think they definitely try to move her up. I'm not sure about Hasegawa, though. No.
I don't blame them. Well, we get new champs. Debbie Malenko, Crossface Chicken Wings Yoshida for the win. New champions.
And Debbie Malenko winning belts.
The highlight of her career, it might be.
Oh, you're probably not even wrong.
Yeah. Second match is Akira Hokuto teaming with Mima Shimoda versus the Tokyo Sweethearts. That's the team of Manami Toyota.
Incorrect. Sweethearts is Toyota and Mima Shimoda.
Oh, I have it backwards with the members?
I have it backward, yes.
Oh, shame on me. Manami Toyota and Etsuka Mita are teaming up to take on Shimoda and Hokuto. So this is where every match started a trend of dropping motherfuckers on their goddamn necks.
Or as I put it so eloquently, dropping bitches on their head.
Yeah, it was a rough time. I think we saw that in the first match, but it was more of a botch than intentional.
Right, we're here. It's very much the intent.
The whole intent from this point forward is just dropping people. Yeah, there's a big neck shot here on, I believe it was on Mita. And this is this match. This match was hysterical because Hokuto and Shimoda are doing lots of drop kicks. Hokuto's going to the top, And Mita's very grounded. She's a very grounded person. She does a lot of leg holds. She has fire. She's not what we later known LCO as. They're not at that stage yet where they're just badass bitches, which is awesome.
Right. Yeah, but they're not getting brought to the ring on the shoulders of muscular men yet.
No. But what we do have here is Manami Toyota looking at Akira Hokuto and going, you know what? I can be crazy too. Because Hokuto's busting out a bunch of Liger moves, doing backflips onto the floor. Toyota, holy shit.
She's crazy. This woman is nuts.
So, for those that need a visual, the ring ropes in the early 90s were not the tensile strength things that you're associating with modern wrestling today, where guys can do a bunch of springboards and you're not gonna see much give out of the ropes because they're more wires today than actual ropes. Right. And when I say they're loose, okay, have you been a diver of sorts at any point in your life?
Yes, I was on the diving team at one point.
Me too. So, if you're setting up for a back dive or some sort of high degree flip, you would say you do a jumping motion first, and then you leap. And at the apex of the board being down, that's when you leap off so you can get the spring, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Manami Toyota has none of that form.
No, she's like jump immediately. Lose balance and then jump.
Her idea is all of the energy must be put in one singular motion, therefore there is no balance involved and no spring involved. So, you see her go. Everyone's to the outside, they're on the floor, and you see her get onto the apron, and she's going, I'm going to do a fucking springboard moonsault off this goddamn top rope. And I'm going to go, and there's no one who can stop me. So her motion is to just run up the thing, and before the rope is at its apex of it being low, she just decides to jump early. And because of this, your legs will fall out from underneath you. So she tries so hard to get enough momentum on the very little leap that she gets. And she does make a full rotation because the rotations are not the problem. It's the height and power in order for you to leap off outwards. So there's none of that outward power. It's just she's making the motion and she flips, she goes up, and she goes down in a straight motion because there's none of that spring to get her outward. So she goes face first into the apron, legs first into the wrestlers.
She ate the entire hardest part of the ring.
And you would think, oh man, she's done. Nah, she gets right back up into the ring and she's just, yeah, I'm okay.
Like nothing fucking happened.
Totally not hurt at all. It's wild. You always think in wrestling that the people that do the wildest shit, they end up having the longest careers. You look at Matt Hardy, he's still kicking around. Jeff Hardy, still kicking around. Manami Toyota, she wrestled another 30 years.
She retired in 2017, and only at that point did she hey, you know what? My body's slowing down. I don't think I want to wrestle anymore.
It's ridiculous.
She is a crazy woman. As we're seeing her in 2010s, she's still a crazy woman. She's just older and more reserved about it.
Yeah, she's like, I can't do these springboard moonsaults anymore. So that was absolutely hysterical. More. There will be more fun to people going splat later. So look forward to...
My favorite part of whenever Manami Toyota gets to the top rope is she loses balance. And you can tell she knows she's losing balance, but instead of maybe going back into the ring, falling backwards and trying into the ring and trying it again, right? A safer bet. She's like, no, fuck it. Doing it anyways.
Oh, yeah. It's 1 foot springboard, no feet, and we're going. So after...
Nobody stopped her.
No, of course. Well, she can't stop herself, that's for sure. Well, anyways, the match was a lot of fun regardless. It's 4 very good tag team wrestlers, 2 of which will become great singles wrestlers. Hokuto ends this match with a Northern Lights neck driver on Mita, because it's fuck you on your neck, Mita, and you do not kick out of that.
No, it's fuck your neck, and I broke my neck, so you might as well break yours too.
I must share the love.
The pain, definitely the pain.
No, that's how Akira Hokuto shows love. I got that from Kensuke Sasaki.
Ah, right. He told you himself personally.
Yeah, of course.
She shows love by breaking every bone in my body.
She breaks something, that's for sure. Kensuke Sasaki had he had trouble walking after his North Korean stint years later.
Oh no!
There's some insider information for you.
Is that where the lip comes from?
Bull Nakano versus Suzuka Minami. Kind of a fun little rematch of big singles action here. The title is not on the line. Yes, Bull Nakano is still your 3WA champion. She's wild. Match was kind of slow, lots of submissions. It's kind of what you expect out of a Suzuka Minami singles match. Not one of my favorite things, but what was interesting is Bull submits with a camel clutch single leg over the shoulder submission thing. You know who we just saw use this move recently in a title match?
Oh, good to tell.
Maki Ito.
We did. We'll talk about
it. It did not resort in victory like Bull Nakano here, but nonetheless.
Oh no, it did not. I think at this point, Suzuka Minami it's very, very, very clear. She's not the person. She's mid.
I would say she's upper mid, and that's very okay.
No, I think she's mid.
No, she's white belt material.
She won the white belt, sure, but I mean, what all does that amount to for her?
A very good white belt career.
Wouldn't go that far.
She's tag champion, white belt champion. She's had a good career.
She had a nice little career. I guess she achieved more than mid Nami, but you know.
She's on that level of Bison Kimura. She's not going to run the company. She's not going to stand at the top, but she's a good person to build up for kind of big singles matches like this, and the people will get behind her, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You need people like this.
I like Bison more. I think Bison had more upside to her. She just never was given the opportunity to show much of the upside.
Well, we'll get there. I'm not a big fan of Suzuka Minami. Singles matches, as I've said in the past, it seems like we get a lot more of these kind of matches than her higher end ones. I guess she just goes with certain opponents better. People that can fly around the ring. The powerful Bull Nakano, who is thick as fuck these days. She is getting bigger by the day.
She's eating that Shanko. She's eating that Shanko up. That's for sure.
My God. But, anyways, on to the main event. 3WA World Tag Team titles on the line. Jungle Jack, Aja Kong, and Bison Kimura taking on Kyoko Inoue and Toshio Yamada. First fall goes to Yamada as she pins Bison after she kicks the shit out of her head, and then she hits a nice little suplex. Quick little start to the match. There's some brawling. It's really all about.
So you missed it. You missed the first portion of this when Jungle Jack makes their entrance. Aja Kong takes it upon herself to just go through the crowd and the announce table and just wreck everything before the match even started. She's not brawling anybody. She's just tearing shit up for the sake of tearing shit up. She takes the announcer guy by the collar and throws him onto the table.
Well, Kong will not be stopped. Kong's angry.
She's angry.
Kong's angry, and this is Empire State Building. Do people still know that reference?
I sure hope so. Otherwise, I feel old too.
Do all the kids still know that? Do they watch King Kong?
I don't think they did. They probably saw Godzilla versus King Kong and probably like, hey, but where's Godzilla in the story?
But I don't know if the Empire State Building is that still steeped in culture. I don't know.
Oh God, no, it's not.
I wonder.
Update me, please.
During the second fall, Aja Kong scoop slams Kyoko on the bare wood floor.
Sure does.
Off in the corner of the camera, slightly off, there's Bison Kimura on the apron. So Kyoko her head is towards the camera, her eyes look up, and then you just see her move towards the apron. And then out of nowhere, Bison Kimura goes off the apron and goes splat onto the floor. It is fucking funny. You just hear a massive sound.
She made a splat sound too. She went blah. She hit it.
We must have replayed this 7 times.
Oh, we did. It is not the first time I've seen this. I saw this earlier in the year, actually. watching it with other people, and we played it like 16 more times. It's hilarious because she comes out of complete, like she's not even in camera view, so she just comes from the side of the camera, makes her entrance, and splat.
It's great. Yeah, people check on her immediately. See if
she
she's
immediately
alive.
gets attention. It's like, are you dead? Can you breathe?
Yeah, it's really funny. Face first into the ground. Second
Protection.
fall. Yeah. So the second fall is after a double spine buster. Bison hits a top rope headbutt and pins Kyoko Inoue. And that was kind of after the big splat moment. So the third fall, Kyoko goes for her mid-rope springboard, but in true Kyoko fashion, she, of course, slips, and then she just inexplicably falls over the top rope to the floor. This is an all-time show.
Oh, yeah, this show is the botch and the dropping on heads of the show. It's fantastic.
It's so entertaining. It's one of my favorite of all time, just from all this. We had so much fun watching this in chat.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You also missed this part where, before the second fall, Aja Kong is brawling in the crowd, as she tends to do, and she just grabs the barricade, grabs the barricade and just chucks it on top of Kyoko Inoue.
It's a very casual Aja Kong big match move. She tends to do this in a lot of these things. It's kind of her shtick. Third fall. The barricade. Yeah. Third fall here. Bison backdrop motions Yamada onto the shoulders of Aja, whom is sitting on the turnbuckle. Okay, so you got that kind of in your head.
I do.
Okay, so Yamada's on the shoulders of Bison, and Aja Kong is on the turnbuckle sitting down. But Yamada gets into this more reverse pile driver position. So Bison doesn't quite get her up onto the shoulders of Aja Kong. So now they're in pile driver position. Kong leaps anyways, despite this not being in any sort of position to do that. Goes, fuck it, I'm going. And almost necks Yamada so bad. Yamada was so lucky it just turned out to be this weak-looking sit-out powerbomb instead of a fucking... Well, her neck would have broken. Like, there's no doubt in my mind if she just didn't tuck at the last minute and Kong didn't have enough strength to do this. Kyoko can't make the save out of this powerbomb, and Jungle Jack retains the titles. Interesting move here that Jungle Jack retains here. Seems that Bull Nakano has had this title and Jungle Jack has had their titles for... Well, Jungle Jack's held his titles for at least a year now, and Bull Nakano's at like 2 years.
Yeah, so I can't remember if it's 92 or 93 off the top of my head right now, that the Bull Aja rematch finally happens and the belt changes hands. But her having the tag belts now is perfectly suitable. It's a nice time waster while they wait to build that up more again. I mean, you can question why they would wait this long, continue to wait this long, take the belt off of Bull. But I think they were just trying to... I don't know if they were trying to gauge if Aja was going to be popular enough, or they were trying to get her more popular. It's that weird thing, because when Aja wins the belt, I believe she's a babyface by the time she wins it, because she goes into like the Tokyo Dome stuff and as a massive face. The fans love her. So it's interesting. I'm kind of curious myself as to why they kind of held this on for so long, because you could just do this at any point and drop the belt and it would have made sense. Yeah,
it's a long time in the making between the tag titles changing hands and the red belt changing hands. And is Bison the white belt champion? I gotta look this up.
I don't remember. I thought... Isn't Hokuto champion?
I don't remember. Let me confirm this. Because we're in January 1992.
Could have just dropped the belt at any point and we wouldn't have seen it anyways. Because how many white belt matches do we get on these shows?
Yeah, that's the real bummer about it. Okay. All Pacific title. Okay, let's see here. Bison Kimura is the champion.
Okay, and you wouldn't have known it because she didn't come out with the belt.
No.
She only came with the tag belts.
Yeah, she has she had a defense? When was her last defense?
We haven't seen a defense, so
we have not. We haven't seen it since she beat Suzuka Minami for the title. That's in October, so it's been a little bit.
It's interesting. It's always so weird why they wouldn't show the white belt, because the white belt's heralded as this big, major, like important belt in the company, as well, almost just as important as the red belt to some extent. We just never see anything of it. It's kind of weird.
Well, they treat these titles like boxing titles. Rare defenses, lots of house shows.
We never see the defenses, though. We never see the defenses.
No,
I mean, there's a whole
defenses.
defense. Right. But we also don't even get some things that make tape, like the Bull Nakano one just didn't make tape. So weird how that all works.
That was kind of the time as well, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess that does kind of make sense. There's the widely them taping shows and selling tapes doesn't start happening really until like around this time, actually. So
yeah, 92, 93. Not really getting a feeling over where they go next from here. I guess they could break off into singles feuds between Kyoko Inoue, Kimura, Yamada. Aja Kong continues the Bull Nakano feud. It seems kind of at one time the company feels hot, and then from another perspective it feels quite stale, just from the fact that it's just biding time. It feels like everyone's kind of already in the places that they ought to be.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm trying to remember when Manami, Toyota, and Yamada win the tag belts. Because I think it's before the third match that they have against each other. So I want to say that they beat Jungle Jack for the belts. I want to say that that's kind of where we're heading. I don't remember, though.
All right, let me take a quick look here. Classics 55. As it loads. Computer's been really slow lately.
Yeah, mine has been too. It's been weird.
All right, Classics 55 will be in February and March of 92. So we'll get a couple months there. Probably some builds for a big April show, which would be in Yokohama. Okay, so there's some answers there. I won't look further than that. I don't want to completely spoil myself. But seeing all these things happen in real time, the matches have been great. Very much enjoying that, and looking forward to more.
Yeah, I'm excited. I definitely want to see what they do to build to the Kong match, because that's got to be. I think that's the next. That's got to be the next defense. I want to say it happens in 92, but it could be 93. I could be completely off on which one it happens in, but I do know that's like the big match that they build to, or the next big match they build to, because I don't think there's any big defenses beforehand.
I guess we'll find out. Time to play the drop for New Japan. All right. It's okay. Get a load of this.
Yeah?
New Japan Archive doesn't have anything until April 29th, 1996. So I had some All Japan matches I could have watched.
Ooh,
okay.
So exciting stuff.
I had March 2nd, 1996, Budokan, Akira Taue and Toshiaki Kawada versus Jun Akiyama and Kenta Kobashi, a 4.5-star match by one Dave Meltzer, and a few other outlets gave it high markings and high reviews. The problem is, I couldn't find this match.
Uh-oh.
With all my might. I found a Taue Misawa against Akiyama Kobashi match from 96, but that's not until Tag League. So I made up for this.
Right.
I watched a bunch of Rey Mysterio matches from 1995 and one in 96.
What does that have to do with All Japan?
It has nothing to do with All Japan. It has everything to do with being awesome. So here's an awesome match for you. Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Psychosis, September 22nd, 1995 from AAA. They got an ugly-ass yellow ring with a giant red triangle in the middle. Lots of Pepsi Challenge advertisements everywhere. I could have sworn it said Retro Pepsi at first because it's Reto.
It's funny.
Yes. Starts slow-ish, doing lucha holds back and forth. Arm work, but Rey always does some nice lucha sequence out of it, so it frustrates the Rudo Psychosis. Frustrates his strategy. There was a Rey botch trying to springboard off the ropes, Manami Toyota style. except he doesn't land face first on the apron. He just goes back first back in the ring. This is at 1/3 of the way through, and they call an audible, and this is really cool. So Psychosis laughs at him, throws him in the corner, and he goes for a wheel kick, crashes and burns on the buckle, so that ruins his leg. Rey kicks the leg out and does a ground octopus leg lock hold submission for fall 1. This is a great start. Lots of fun. Fall 2 is pretty quick after this because it's Mexico. This is just how they do it. Everything's 2 out of 3 falls. First 2 falls kind of try to tell a story, but they're very fast in motion. Nothing gets going to the 3rd fall. It's just what they do. It's a style. Don't worry about it. So fall 2 is quick. Psychosis reverses a Rey springboard as he lands on his shoulders. It's an electric chair drop backwards, and he follows this up with a moonsault right onto Rey Mysterio, and then submits Rey with a wacky bow and arrow lock. I don't even know how to describe this thing. Zack Sabre Jr. would have questions.
That's funny. I've never seen anything from Rey Mysterio pre-fed outside of what we're watching in Nitro.
Oh, dude.
I've never watched any Rey Mysterio. I've heard he's great, but I've not seen any of it.
Dude, this shit is awesome. Like, we're watching Nitro, and we've never seen Psychosis do a moonsault. He always has kind of the same wacky little match, and they're, like... What we see in Nitro feels like they're doing 75% of what they're allowed to do.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that the case anyways, what they told not to do, but so much.
Right. So fall 3, they both just start flying through the air, going back and forth. There's just, we're going to do cool shit, we're going to fly, it is great. Amazing feats and leaps and crashes and burns. It's so much fun to watch. Big tornado DDT, and then a standing brutalizer to submit Psychosis. Rey Mysterio wins. And this match would be a huge rivalry throughout the fall of 1995, going into ECW, which I will be reviewing for the Patreon, releasing in November, thanks to the Pick'em. So I'll be reviewing an ECW match that these two had, and I can tell you it's even better.
ECW.
That's right. And I also followed this with, what does coincide with the time frame. It's Rey Mysterio versus Juventud Guerrera at ECW Big Ass Extreme Bash. The real name for it.
What kind of name is that?
March 9th, 1996. So here you go. We're in the same time frame now. This classic New Japan little journey here. So they start out spitting in each other's faces, and I go, I'm in.
Immediately. Exchanging bodily fluids. Sharp checked in.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun-ass lucha doing back and forth, much like what I just described with Mysterio and Psychosis. And this ref is absolutely useless in ECW. He's just there to stand there. He just has no clue like when to count a pin. So I'm like, all right, I won't worry about this guy. He'll just count the 3. Who cares? This ECW crowd is popping at everything because it's just so much fun shit going on, not including a springboard by Mysterio with 0 room outside the ring, because this is ECW and the guardrails are too damn close to the ring. So they're just like, they're going legs first into the guardrail. The fans are right there. If you told me like a fan got a concussion from getting a boot to the face, I'd believe you, and he'd probably be like, give me 2, please, because that was the time.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah, simply put, they exchanged the first 2 falls. It was fun. Not as detailed-oriented as what I described with Psychosis there. Less of a story involved, but the 3rd fall is where it gets like ridiculous. So Juvi does a springboard moonsault into the crowd, and the crowd goes absolutely mental for this, because if you do a crowd dive, it's just immediately half a star better. Then they brawl to the back after this moonsault, and Juventud does a backdrop on a random car because they're in the parking lot all of a sudden. It's like 2 feet away.
Jesus Christ.
Then he power bombs him onto the car, leaves him alone. He starts like yelling at fans, and then the camera pans back to the car, and Mysterio comes off the car for a Hurricane Rana. It's fucking sick. And as they're walking back into the ring, chairs start being thrown at each other. They just have no regard for anyone's health, not even the crowd, and the crowd is rabid for all of this. Tables come out of the ring, they prop him up, and then as they get back in the ring, Rey charges, Juventud launches him on top of the turnbuckle, and Rey kind of loses his balance. He slips a little bit, and this is an opportunity for Juventud to go, oh, I can fuck this dude up. He goes for a razor's edge off the top rope, And Rey Mysterio midair reverses this into a Hurricane Rana pin, and he wins the match. Fan-fucking-tastic. Juventud kind of spikes himself on his neck a little bit on the flip, and then post-match, he can't be an ECW show without tables, so Rey Mysterio takes him to the outside and just gives him a nice little power bomb on the table. Crowd is very satisfied with all this. ECW chants ensue, and the show moves on. Okay, I love this match. It was great. Go Rey Mysterio.
I love how you go with the get the tables. Like, yeah, Devon, get the tables.
So highly recommend Rey Mysterio in early to mid 90s, whether it was ECW or AAA. Go seek these out.
Sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. I definitely would like to check these out. It sounds really awesome.
Yeah, easily Googleable.
It's a word.
Yeah. It's a great word. Despair time.
Oh boy.
Are you ready for the end?
The end of what, to be exact?
I don't know. A shitty show.
I mean, we still have a whole nother year before they die, right?
A year and a half, to be exact.
Oh boy, it's a year and a half we got to go.
Oh man. Getting message requests on Twitter. That sounds elite.
They tell you to stop covering Nitro, please. It sounds like a pain.
It sounds way better. Well, unfortunately, I don't know. There's some message. Unfortunately, this is the day after Owen Hart passes away at Over the Edge from WWF. So WWF has a big tribute show. Nitro starts off with a 3-bell salute because it's 1, 2, 3 match over situation, which I think was kind of cool.
Right.
And then
I remember. I remember the Raw after it happened because I didn't watch the Over the Edge pay-per-view. The buddy of mine that usually ordered stuff, or my dad ordered stuff, we didn't order that one. I don't remember why, but we never ordered it, so I didn't know Owen died until the next Monday night when they had said so.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was 11 years old. I was watching TV in bed with my mom, and she had the news on, and then the news just cuts to tell us that Owen Hart had passed away. I remember that very vividly, and then I watched both Raw and Nitro the same night to see if like Bret Hart would do anything on Nitro. Then as soon as I do remember not watching the Nitro because they weren't doing anything outside of the salute, and I watched the whole Raw for the tribute show and what they had to offer, and Stone Cold like toasting a beer in the middle of the ring, like very vivid memories of that night and the day after, and me at school kind of just very distraught over one of my heroes dying in the ring. It was very upsetting. So
yeah,
no
I
more.
Remember,
yeah, go on.
So I remember. So I kind of also remembered very vividly because I didn't know he had died until they opened the show saying so. I was watching with my dad, and I remember just turning to my dad, like, "So is this like a story?" Because again, I'm a kid, did not know any. Like I figured it was a story because they had done stupid shit like this before with the Ministry and all this other stuff, right? Like, no, that guy, he's actually dead. I was like, oh. I kind of just sat there. And I kind of remember watching it, but not really remembering anything other than the Stone Cold salute. Kind of don't remember any of the show. I just kind of remember being shocked that a wrestler could actually die. As a kid, that wasn't a concept in my head, right?
Oh, right, yeah. When you're young, the concept of death is just not on your head. Yeah. All right. So enough doom and gloom. We love Owen Hart. I've on this podcast, I've watched and gone over a bunch of Owen Hart matches. I'm sure that will happen more. And there's a match coming up, I think a couple months from now on Nitro with Bret Hart. That's a very nice memory for me. So on to despair now. Different kind of despair. We have to review Nitro because God, this show's terrible.
Oh, it's the worst. Holy shit. It's so bad.
It's all about the return of Hulk Hogan. We're in May, so we're approaching the NBA playoffs. We are at the start of baseball season, so Nitro is, of course, being preempted for Braves games and whatnot. So Hogan's returning. Savage is running wild. He's a killing machine because he wants the title. He's a search and destroy mission. He's an assassin, K. Snap into a
Seek
Slim
and
Jim.
destroy mission. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just destroying everything, attacking people. As we saw on, as they showed us on the prior Thunder, because no one watches Thunder, he does like the same thing, but beats up like a bunch of people. Rey Mysterio and Kidman, I believe.
Yeah, he beats up Mysterio, Kidman, Disco Inferno. That one made me happy. That's fine. Nacho Babyface more like.
Props for me on that one.
So they go through 6 minutes of recaps of all this. And then we get to the new Van Hammer versus Chavo Guerrero to start us off, K.
Hammer, different attitude. He went from the 60s to the 80s with the studs and leather.
Still a bad wrestler.
Of course.
K. This company is in a wrestling war. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Did you know the first hour is unopposed?
I had no idea, but it makes sense when they put shit like that out.
No, it doesn't make sense. Wouldn't you want people to stay and watch your show and not be excited for the other one to start because this one's terrible?
Oh, because you see, why would you want to compete when there's nothing to compete with in the first hour? You compete in the second hour when the competition's really there.
Yeah, Alabama Slam,
that's probably exactly how they're thinking, too.
That is exactly how they're thinking. More video on Randy Savage. Mean Gene brings out Disco Inferno. He's wearing sunglasses. Mean Gene's great. He goes, now, we can't have this interview with you wearing sunglasses. Take them off, Disco. Show us the damage Savage has done. And, yeah, it's a waste of time. Ernest Miller comes out.
You missed the best part of that.
What's up?
Disco doesn't want to do it at first. He said, tell him to be a man and take it off.
Yeah, it's great. I love Mean Gene. So Disco's a little bitch. Cat comes out, beats his ass. He's talking shit in the ring. Cuts to the B team in the back. And tell me if we've seen this before, Kay. They goad Scott Norton, who's in the middle of shaving, by the way, to go beat him up.
He's calling him out, man. He's calling you out on TV. He's calling me out again. Oh, I thought he learned his lesson the last time. Jesus Christ, this company.
They've done this now 4 times in just 2 months.
Sure have. And guess what? Each time, it doesn't lead to shit.
No, it does not. And unfortunately, Scott Norton does not come out with the shaving cream on his face. So now it's a total loss. At the very least, the Cat had a line. He escapes from Norton and goes, "I haven't registered my hands as a weapon yet. Therefore, I cannot kick your ass."
No. The best part is like my hands are registered weapons, but I haven't registered them yet. So I'll be back when I get registered.
Yeah, it's fucking great. The Cat is a good promo. He's got generic as fuck music. Sonny Ono leaps into his arms as they run away. At least I got a laugh or two.
That was great.
All right, let's speed through this shit. So, cut to Flair and Arn Anderson, and El Dandy makes an appearance, and they say,
Legend
quote,
El Dandy.
Yes, the legend El Dandy. They say, quote, "He's the greatest Mexican warrior ever, and he's going to face David Flair tonight."
He said Mexican warrior at least 4 different times. He's the Mexican warrior. Did you know he's the Mexican warrior? I didn't fucking know.
Yeah. He offers them a bunch of tacos, and El Dandy goes, "Cool. I will take the dive."
That's not racist. That's not racist at all.
No, it's totally... Hey, would you turn down a bunch of tacos?
I mean...
I wouldn't.
No.
Tacos are awesome.
I like tacos. Tacos are great, but,
yeah.
You know...
Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker comes back, and he's like, "Hey, I want what's mine." And Flair says, "I got you a Gold Gyms membership. What's the problem? What more do you want? It's hard being the president of everything."
That was a funny line, but this segment went on for far too long.
It went on forever. In short, he goes, "You want a match?" Parker won't lay down again. He gets Benoit. Whoop-de-doo. They make fun of him. He's going to get his ass kicked. Mean Gene brings out Mike Tenay. And Mike Tenay's job is to try to make sense of the whole main event storyline that's awfully shitty. There's so much politics and board of directors talk that now I'm fully convinced WCW is all about political bureaucracy with occasional wrestling involved. Okay, this company dies.
So there's a funny line in here. I believe it's in this one where they're trying to make sense of the entire title thing. And he's like, well, they couldn't get a hold of Kevin Nash. And Green Gene goes, I thought Kevin Nash was always accessible. He's always accessible, Kevin Nash.
Accessible, big sexy, I think was the word.
Yeah. Accessible. He's big sexy. He's always accessible. And we got a big laugh out of us.
It's fucking terrible. Let's see here. Savage, Piper, WCW Power. Yeah, it's all bureaucracy. El Dandy versus David Flair. Okay? Why? Okay. Give me your theory. Why do they think putting David Flair on television is good TV?
Nepotism.
Will that equal ratings, though?
No, but nepotism.
Will that equal heat?
I mean, if they think so, I don't know how.
Do you think this is?
So maybe
do you think the strategy is this is generating good heat with the crowd? I think that's what they're doing, Kay.
Well, if they listen to the crowd, they realize that that's not the case. The crowd is not reacting at all to this.
No. So Arn Anderson gets in the ring, spine buster on El Dandy. Flair hooks in the worst figure four you've ever seen. Dandy taps. I think anybody could run the ropes better than David Flair.
No, best part of the match, El Dandy puts David Flair in a drop toe hold. David Flair goes down like a fucking log. He does the timber. He goes down just straight like a log, stiff as a board. It's
like you've chopped a tree down to its last piece of standing wood, and then you just push it over, and it slowly falls and goes bang. And this crowd was as silent as a tree falling in the forest.
But David Flair falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it. Did it happen?
God, this is terrible. Gene brings out Buff Bagwell. He's got the stuff, whatever. He talks about young guys being buried by the old guard. That kind of made me laugh.
Made me laugh as well.
5-minute video package on Eric Bischoff, his rise to power in WCW, joining the NWO, and they even play the convoluted storyline where he gets fired from Power and he just keeps showing up on TV while in Power.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we see this exact same video package last time?
No, it's slightly different, Kay, because this time Barrett Bischoff also apologized for the shitty television show, and he's going to bring up the ratings, and he's going to bring up Nitro back to relevancy, and they showed like the whole, after the NWO package as well, the whole free fall into 98 and everything.
So I know these Nitros are a terrible watch, and most of us time we're not watching this sober, but correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say that same exact verbiage last time? Apologize for the ratings being bad, just openly saying, hey guys, we suck.
No, there's slightly different verbiage to it, Kay. That's what. Who are we kidding? It's the same fucking thing every week. I hate this shit.
It's the exact same video package, like verbatim. Like they didn't even bother to just recycle the same shit. They just hit replay on the video package.
God damn it! I fucking hate this. This is so bad.
Like, how hard is it to like? I guess they're having a hard time finding ways to kill time, but how hard is it to make a new video package? It's very fucking least make a new video package.
Where's my shitty fun drops? Here we go. This is wrong. I'm gonna play that.
Okay. This is wrong, Jack. This is wrong.
Okay, somebody.
This is wrong.
Exactly what the charges.
God, at least that still makes me laugh. This is wrong.
Yeah, it's like again, it's the laziness, right? It's like you could just, if you're gonna do this again, like if you really feel like you have to do this shit again, right? Because you're preempted, so maybe you want to remind people, just make a new video package. Why recycle the same exact thing verbatim? Do they not think people watched every week to see this again a second time, and maybe that would make them stop watching?
I don't know. Who knows? All right.
This company sucks.
They follow this up with a battle royal of the Cruiserweight Geek Nerds, in which
they didn't announce.
No, they did announce the winner would get a shot against Rey Mysterio. That is important because before we get to the match, it finally happened, Kay.
Sure did.
It finally happened. We've been talking about this stupid ramp for weeks, and we've noticed all the people like shuffling off to the side, being really gingerly on the mat. Juventud Guerrera, whom I just spoke about having an amazing match with Rey Mysterio, doing feats of leaps of awesomeness, pours the water on himself. Hoovy juice. He juiced himself up. The water falls on the ramp, and he goes, whoop, onto his ass. And all the cruiserweights just walk by him, and then eventually he gets up, and one guy pats him on the head, and he starts, like, yelling into the camera.
It's hilarious. So the best part of this, the best part is before the fall, as he's putting on the water on himself, he's getting hyped. He's doing this like hype yell thing, and he slips mid yell. It's hilarious.
Best part of Nitro. It's my favorite moment of 1999.
It was great. And you know what? For all the people to happen to, it couldn't have been anyone any better than Hoovy, right?
It couldn't have happened to a better guy. That's right.
that asshole just happened to be him.
All right, so on to the match. So cruiserweights are running into each other, doing spots into each other the whole time. It's really funny. It's just nonsense. Eventually, big man Hugh Morris comes out, runs down, throws a bunch of geeks out. There was a moment where I think it's like Lash LaRue and some other cruiserweight. They get eliminated, and they just keep doing spots on the outside. It's really funny.
It was hilarious.
So he throws out like the whole field. It's just basically Billy Kidman left, and Mysterio runs down. He gets his ass kicked for a bit. Morris throws Kidman out, and then he goes to the top rope and gets drop kicked by Mysterio out of the ring. So I guess two things happened. Mysterio won his own battle royale, even though he wasn't in it, or it went to a no contest.
It didn't tell us. There was no follow-up. It just happened.
This sucks ass. And you know what this is? This is a don't worry about it moment. So here it goes.
You're right. Don't worry about it. Got us.
Hate this show. Not gonna worry about it.
I mean, listen. We at least got Tori Wilson on the show.
Tori Wilson is the
second.
hottest specimen ever.
I don't know, man. Medusa with her hooker get up might give her a run for her money. Who am I kidding?
No one. Look, even commentary is just going, I can't concentrate anything. It's Tori Wilson. Look at her, damn it. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful woman.
Surge. I would drink the Surge, but I'm so thirsty and there's no Surge here.
Yeah, there was no Surge on this show, but we got Hoovy slipping, so I'll take it.
No. Instead of Surge, we got them plugging an EA game.
Yeah, I don't remember what the EA game is. Okay, Roddy Piper out. We get, he mentions baseball. He mentions fighting stuff. Then let's see. It was Miss Madness, Gorgeous George, and Medusa come out. He goes, hey, welcome to Silicon Valley. And then they all show off their boobs. So they're proud of him. Okay, cool. He follows this up.
Medusa looks like a hooker.
Well, they got to make her, so sad. Okay. Calm down. So Piper says he respects women. He was raised this way. I respect women. And he follows this up with threatening to hit them.
And saying he won't hit them because he respects women.
But he does hit them. And he threatens them. So thumbs up. It's a big thumbs up moment, 1999.
I don't know if that's a thumbs up moment.
No, it's just you just look at your screen, you just go, thumbs up.
Then he mentioned Medusa. He won't fuck with Medusa because he knows that she can kick his ass. I was like, looking at her right now, I'd beg to differ.
Yeah, she'll trip in the heels first. That's what will happen.
No kidding, right? She looked awkward walking in those things. Was it just me, or she just looked like she does not know how to walk in heels?
I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. Paige and Bigelow are an alliance of some kind. They lay out Piper. Paige says Flair owes him, and Flair gives him a tag title shot at the Great American Bash. So there you go.
That'll be important later for Dumb Angle.
So Benoit and Malenko, I guess, are in the back watching. And Dean goes, hey, what the hell? And Benoit goes, well, that's not cool. So there's your horsemen split up already. They do a video package. Yeah, they do a video package on Luger and Sting's history. How many times both guys got fucked. Nobody bought him breakfast, I'm sure. Tony Schiavone says WCW is partnering with Tommy Boy Records to merge wrestling and music. And they're kind of 2 decades too late for this, but hey, it's WCW.
100%.
And this is where we get Kurt Hennig come. I don't know. It was very wacky getting like all these rappers and Bischoff just going, "Hey, music, cool, right, guys? Hip hop, hoppin'." And we get Kurt Hennig in the booth, and this is where we get rap as crap, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. So I'm assuming this is gonna become like a feud angle. Otherwise, they wouldn't spend so much goddamn time on Kurt Hennig just yelling about how much he hates rap music, and it's all about the good Southern bluegrass and country.
Yeah, that's why we get Conan coming out and they go to blows. So they're continuing that feud. Chris Benoit versus Buddy Lee Parker. Goes 2 minutes. Who cares? Benoit wins. TV title is Rick Steiner versus Buff Bagwell. This also ends in a DQ, so who cares? Heaven forbid anyone gets pinned on this show.
So you're forgetting one small thing that happened again with Buff. So we get one interview with him. Then we get a second interview where he just says the same goddamn thing. The Buff stuff, bullshit, whatever.
Forgive me, I'm blocking many things out of my memory at this point.
I have to remember some of this. I wish I couldn't.
So there's a whole angle here about Mike Tenay getting Kurt Hennig out. He calls out Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart wants Mysterio out there. And then Mysterio comes out and he gets his ass kicked, so he's a nerd. Let's see here. Conan comes out. Kidman comes out for the save. They're doing. I'm like trying to recall and look at my notes, and nothing makes sense because the show doesn't make sense. What's the fucking main event?
Very good question. I think I forgot what the main event was.
Who did Roddy Piper team with? Oh, okay. Now I remember.
Those horsemen.
The horsemen. That's right. They turn on him. Okay. Here we go. Before all that, there's Hogan returned from his knee surgery. Praises Nash because of the Wolfpack. We get Raw references and Triple X wrestling, which didn't make sense. We get Nash saying he accepts Savage challenge at the Bash, but he wants a match later that doesn't happen. Gorgeous George is now coming out on crutches, even though she just wasn't on crutches just a second ago. And then Savage does the same angle he did last week with the lipstick. There we go. Okay, all made sense.
Right. The video package for Hogan. The video package for Hogan was very much like a big, like did I not predict it? Big babyface comeback. Hogan in his triumphant return. He's gonna make things right, and he's gonna set the record straight, and whatever fucking verbiage they use to make Hulk Hogan feel like he's the conquering hero coming back.
Oh yeah, they want to rekindle 1994 all over again with Savage and Hogan.
He's gonna come back in the fucking yellow and red and just Hulkamania running wild.
It's 1994. All over again. That's what they're doing. They're just they're trying to reset everything. Okay, so Roddy Piper comes out. He's got two teammates. It's Benoit and Malenko. They're taking on Ric Flair, Diamond Dallas Page, and Bam Bam Bigelow in a 6-man tag. It's a mess. It's bullshit. It's nothing happens. What does happen is Raven and Saturn hit the ring for a DQ because they have to defend the tag titles against all four of them. I don't know. There's a brawl to the back in which then Hogan takes out DDP with a chair. And then it just goes off the air. Show sucks.
So I want to point out one other thing that I remember.
There were only 5 matches in 3 hours, by the way, Kay.
Sounds like Nitro. So
you want to know what the rating
made
is?
His entrance. Oh, well, can I tell what the
No, you got to know what the rating was for the show.
Sure. What was the rating?
So Nitro has a 3.1. 3 million people.
Uh-huh.
You know what WWF is getting now?
I'm assuming a 6.
7.2.
Oh, well, fuck you. I guess Nitro sucks then, in the mud.
Yeah, they Nitro hadn't fallen that low since 1990, early 97, late 96 or something. It's really bad.
Yeah, I mean, they suck. I mean, they're repeating video packages, terrible matches with no finishes. But the one detail that I picked up on that I don't know if you caught, when DDP and Bigelow made their entrances, they made their entrances separately. DDP had music for his. Bigelow, still no fucking music.
Yeah, they don't care. And neither should we.
It's hilarious.
The show's terrible. It's terrible. Guys, this was episode 91 of the Red Leaf Retrocast Wrestling Edition, Osaka Dream Wrestle Princess. See you next time.
See ya.